Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Maritime Wrestletime podcast. That's right, it is the 8th episode, and today's episode is a little bit different than our regular scheduled episodes. Still the greatest podcast in the Maritimes, of course, for your source of AEW, NXT, WWE, and all other wrestling news. However, for the first time, we are doing it virtually and with a special guest. Zach, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yeah, well, we're doing.
I already just ruined it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're doing it virtual today because our area has gotten a little bit more COVID cases, so we got to stay home. But for today's podcast, our many questions guy, Pat, has joined us digitally from his home in St. John. And we're very happy to help. Very happy to have him on the podcast. Welcome, Patty. How you doing?
Thank you. Doing good. You know, I'm glad to be on the best podcast in the Maritimes. So, I mean,
See?
maybe arguably in the world.
It's fact. It's factual, Zach. I'm telling you, it's factual.
Yeah. Until proven wrong, it's factual.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so for today's podcast, we have an interview with our question master, Pat, to start us off. We have Smackdown, we have Raw, NXT, AEW, and for the first time ever, we are talking about TNA.
What?
That's right, Impact Wrestling. And of course, we will finish with our favorites, Bad Booking, done by Alex this week, and the Creative Corner done by myself. So, do you want to get going with the Patty questions?
Yeah, let's start with the Patty questions. I didn't have an order for this. Let's just let's just start off with what your introductions to wrestling was, I guess. How you got into it.
I think it was really because my grandfather's really big into WWE, watching, you know, Hulk Hogan and obviously all those big guys back then, and I think I don't remember exactly when I started doing it, but I remember that my dad was watching it, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, kind of just knowing nothing. So I sat down with him, and I kind of just kept watching it, and obviously people knew who John Cena was, and you know what I mean. So it kind of attracted me to that. So obviously, it was kind of just him. We'd watch it every Monday. Friday, I would usually just watch Monday Night Raw, which was a little weird because Friday would be just too late since I was a younger kid. So once I grew up, once I was probably, say, maybe 12 something, I'd probably start watching Friday Night Smackdown. And now we have boarding and stuff, so now I can just watch it whenever I want. So, I mean, yeah.
Oh, you probably started around the generation of where John Cena was the biggest guy in WWE history and the main guy and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Who is your favorite wrestler right now?
Right now, that would be hard because obviously I do have one favorite that I kind of do like really a lot. It's probably Roman Reigns. I like the way he's kind of going right now. I like how Paul Heyman, the way that they introduced him and Paul Heyman was just ridiculous. Nobody expected it. Like, it was crazy. And I was like, okay, I think now it's time to turn Roman into what Brock Lesnar was and kind of being badass kind of guy that everybody's going to be afraid of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great that he's doing with Paul Heyman, and hopefully he keeps going and he does some good stuff, and maybe one day he'll be considered of, you know, maybe not close to Randy Orton and John Cena, but maybe just a step for them. But
I would when I think about Roman Reigns, it's actually kind of funny you say this because it was kind of funny how it all happened. Like we heard that Brock wasn't re-signing with WWE, and then all of a sudden Paul Heyman gets Roman Reigns, so it was kind of like the passing of the big fat walrus torch to Roman.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought that was very interesting. But for another fun question, if you have a good memory, what's your favorite wrestling match of all time? Like, what's the one match that you can watch right now and just sit down and just watch the whole thing?
I think one of them, one big one, was when I had this like I know this memory like it was back in my mind was Triple H against Undertaker, and I think it was a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And oh man, like the way like you know Shawn Michaels was the guest referee, and they were literally trying everything against the Undertaker, and then he just powered through everything. And when the steel cage came up, and they all helped the Undertaker walk, and it was crazy. Everybody was shocked and like emotional, and you could just tell like the crowd was going crazy. So that would be probably definitely one of them.
I think that like just having it was, to me, it was a progression, right? It was the first match with Shawn, and then Shawn's retirement, then Triple H helping his buddy, and then end of an era. But every match had like a moment of like ending, like it's ending right here. It couldn't be ended any other way, or that's how we thought, anyways.
It was definitely magical moments, and you know, it was definitely a stamp of WWE like best moments of all time. Just those matches were ridiculous.
And Shawn hit that sweet chin music to the pedigree. I thought my face dropped.
I thought that was the match that the streak was gone.
Probably one big thing when he did kick out of it, Shawn was like shocked. He went in the corner and he was like, I just want this to be over. Like I can't, like there's no way that we can stop this guy, right? So that was pretty.
That was great entertainment value by Shawn.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, hands down.
Question for Patty, Alex?
Yeah, so like there's been a lot of different like I guess generations in wrestling, so like the Hulk Hogan era, the Attitude Era, the PG era, and then what we have now and stuff. Is there like a specific one amongst those, or even before that, if you've managed to watch videos on that you connected the most with, I guess?
I mean, so obviously I am pretty young, so obviously I wouldn't be old enough to watch, you know, those great Hulk Hogan matches. Obviously, if I was alive, then obviously I probably was just too little just to understand it. But I think I do know like the like all the eras and stuff, and I know like Hulk Hogan, like that was one probably some in people's minds the best era of all time. And honestly, I would agree with that, because I mean, man, like that's who inspired everybody, right? Like everybody with the how you doing, brother? Like all the kind of words that are all the wrestling people that are coming up with kind of thing, and everybody was just copying them. So, and that's kind of what inspired all these guys today, right? And you see like family generations, and like you just see to another big one, The Rock, and then like his cousins in the WWE now, and then two other cousins are like, it just kind of branches off, which is sick. I mean, it's awesome to just kind of you know that WWE is a family thing, and you know, and obviously, you know, not all the time, obviously, because there has been some instances where, you know, it's kind of been, you know, but I would say, obviously, because of my age, I'd probably say the era where, you know, John Cena against Randy Orton, John Cena against CM Punk, and John Cena against this person, and Miz, and always being in that mental state where there's no WrestleMania without John Cena kind of thing, like, you know, like Hulkamania and kind of like that, so. That'd probably be mine.
Yeah, very fair point.
If you look back at the 80s, I think that Hulk Hogan was the first like mega star. He was the first guy to like put baby faces on the map, because if you look at the guys before him, well, I mean, you could say Ric Flair, but Ric Flair was a heel his whole career pretty much, and you know, the first like mega babyface star was definitely Hulk Hogan, and probably the most important babyface that we've ever had, for sure.
Yep.
Do you want to get started, or do you want to ask him one more question, Alex?
No, I think we're good to start, Zach.
All right, let's get her going.
All right.
Starting with SmackDown.
We're starting with SmackDown. With the first match of the night was actually a really interesting match. It was Big E versus Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywheres match.
House down.
Really good match. That's one way to start a SmackDown. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like props to them too, because like the last couple of like Falls Count Anywhere or no DQ matches, they've all like I fucked that up, I know. But they all like stay in the ring basically the entire match, but Big E and Sheamus actually went backstage and did most of the stuff back there, which is what you should have from a Falls Count Anywhere match, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to see a pinfall in the ring.
Was it better than Braun Strowman versus The Fiend at SummerSlam?
Oh, infinitely.
Was it SummerSlam?
Infinitely better. Oh, yeah.
Where they went backstage and then they came back.
Yeah, after 2 minutes of being backstage. Yeah, infinitely better.
Listen, Sheamus has always been, has always held his own, whether he was a babyface or a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets overlooked a lot because of his injuries, and you feel like it's kind of hard to work with Sheamus because he did have that neck injury. At the same time, how does he keep doing this good stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I feel that he could be at the point right now where he'd be like, either give him a bar kind of tag team again, or give him a push, give him a title run, and no one would say anything. That's how good he is, to me, anyways.
Yeah, I do agree with that Sheamus part. I do believe he does get overlooked when he came back with that whole gimmick of he literally came back bigger than ever, and I thought it was okay, they're gonna push this guy now. Finally they're gonna kind of get away from the bar, and he went back to his old haircut and everything, and he kind of went into that gimmick where he's kind of just Irish now, he's just full on Irish kind of gimmick, and the hat on him and everything. And I do believe you need to push Sheamus. You do really need to push Sheamus because he's an unreal wrestler. He is really good, and we've seen in the past he's a three-time WWE champion. I think
he's a two-time WWE champion and a one-time World Heavyweight champion when he beat Daniel Bryan in 5 seconds.
Yeah. So I mean, and the same thing with Big that match. Loved that match. It was probably my favorite of the night, and yeah, I think they need to push Sheamus definitely in a big way.
You want to talk about the draft right now? I know I can say that.
We'll get to that later for sure. But yeah, I agree. I feel like obviously, as you guys said, Sheamus has been underutilized a lot as of late, and he's as we saw in this match right here, he's definitely capable of putting on great matches. He's also being elevated by Big E, which is also another great performer, who doesn't get talked a lot about, but
he did this week.
Yeah, he definitely did this week, and they both pushed each other a lot. And I think that match showed a lot out of both of those men, and it shows that I'd say they're both ready for some kind of title run or title picture.
They can take a beating, I can tell you that.
Absolutely, Jesus.
Because right now, are they both on SmackDown? Are they
they're both on SmackDown, I think. Yeah. No, they're split. They're split.
No, Sheamus
on Raw.
Sheamus went
yeah,
to Raw, right?
They're split.
So I could see a heel Sami Zayn versus face Big E.
Yeah, I mean, who better to go for the US title than Sheamus? I think, right?
Yeah.
Fits well against Bobby.
Sheamus versus the whole Hurt Business.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Actually.
Do you think him doing that? Do you think Sheamus would go to face, or because it would be just too?
I think it'd be funner if he was a face.
I think yeah.
If you could probably do a strongman's match of just Sheamus versus Bobby.
See, but get away with it. It's the thing with the Hurt Business too, is because they're feuding with Retribution or whatever, and we don't really know if they're face or heel because they keep flopping between both of them. It's so odd. So it's you either make Sheamus face or you keep him heel, and you just put Retribution, or not Retribution. You make the Hurt Business as the face in the scenario, I guess. But
they gotta be the heel.
yeah, they're much better as a heel. It makes more sense.
You gotta because I figure that the plan for Survivor Series is probably gonna be Hurt Business versus Retribution in a 5-man or whatever they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the way you would book this to me would be you keep the Hurt Business as a strong heel group, then you have them just face the baby faces in the Survivor Series match, and then maybe you put someone on the baby face over to give that person a push, or you push the Hurt Business more. And Retribution, not that they shouldn't be in one of those Survivor Series matches, but they should just destroy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Destroy a match of some kind, So that's how I would book it, but see.
Yep. moving on. The next thing that happened was really odd to me. Roman Reigns gave this like promo with Jey Uso in the ring and stuff, and my question here is, they're putting Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman. Why are they not letting Paul Heyman talk on the mic instead of Roman Reigns? I feel like I really like this character of Roman Reigns where he is now. I think he's really entertaining to watch, and he's one of the best parts of WWE in general right now. But the promo he gave was just really bad, I find. It's generic, and it's almost like Vince kind of just told him to do a promo, but not to tell him what it's about, you know?
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, in my opinion, I think Vince is really trying to push Roman in a way for him to be 10 times better of a kind of. I feel like Vince in his future plans kind of wants Roman to be by himself. That's what I think, because Vince is very. Vince. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that explains it.
So
yeah.
I think maybe because of the family thing, how they're cousins, maybe that's why he's doing most of the talking.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Jey Uso, when Jimmy comes back, I think Jey and Jimmy might do a triple threat, like you guys said, I think last podcast or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they will do not like a triple threat, but a 2-on-1 kind of like for family, like whatever the stipulation is going to be. It's going to be like a family, like who's the top dog in the family or something like that, right?
Whoever gets the next Fast and Furious movie spot.
yeah. So I think that might happen, and hopefully, like after the family thing fight happens and just it's done over with, I think that's when Paul Heyman will really come in. But I don't know what they're trying to do really with the whole Roman thing. But
I honestly think that they just went too early with this. I think that like if you were gonna do Roman versus Jey, I think you could. You've easily just done, promo versus promo, cousin versus cousin, and, get away with it. I think that they missed an opportunity here. They could have easily just been like, Paul Heyman shows up outside Hell in a Cell and helps Roman. And then all of a sudden, it's like in the back of your mind, why the hell is he helping Roman? And then you could have gone to the next pay-per-view and have him help him again. And then, you could have disposed of Jey Uso and let go of that feud. And then Paul Heyman could have explained his actions, why he helped Roman Reigns. And then you could have built the character more after that. But listen, Paul Heyman's got to do promos for Roman. That's,
that's what Paul Heyman's
really
for.
Tell me that. Exactly, that's what Paul Heyman's for. Like, you can't really tell me that he's not there to at least do one promo for Roman. Like, you can't. The Paul Heyman's known for his promos. I would probably put him in the top 5 all time in promos. So, why would you not make him talk right now? Like, it's kind of a weird mashup. Like, I would love to see Roman and Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman needs to be the one talking, and Roman Reigns needs to be just a big guy and talk once in a while, like Brock did. And I don't want to make him be like Brock Lesnar, but that's kind of what they're showing us. That's kind of what they want to do. So
they have to do it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Next, we had I thought it was an okay match. Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle tag teamed against Miz and Morrison. The one thing I thought that was kind of funny is that it's Jeff Hardy's tagging with someone that's not his brother, but his name is still Matt.
And it's a bro.
And it's a bro, so it's like it still works. But yeah, the match itself was kind of okay. I don't really understand why they put him with Matt Riddle. But then the match gets interrupted by Lars Sullivan. Oh. So,
do you guys want me to start on this one?
Have we talked about Lars on the podcast yet? I don't think so.
I think
I think he's literally like crossed my mind so many times that I was just like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, like the entire backstage in WWE hates Lars Sullivan. All of the fans hate Lars Sullivan, all for very, very good reasons.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I think of is I think of the time he returned the last time because of his anxiety issues.
Yeah.
And I'm not blasting anyone that has anxiety, of course not. But come on, if you got that much anxiety and you're doing all that kind of shit on social media, like, you gotta check yourself, man. You gotta go. You gotta look within you and start doing better choices. Like, what, like, the first time he came back after that whole anxiety thing, he came back to a full crowd, no pop, no reaction, nobody gave a shit, and pretty much what you saw last Friday, like no crowd there to give a shit. So like,
see,
what's the plan?
The way I see Lars Sullivan is he's just a much smaller and less impressive Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
That's
perfect.
And that's you know what? To me, that's an insult to Braun Strowman.
Okay, yes, but like Lars doesn't really have any redeeming qualities. Sure, he's kind of big, but he's not like massive, you know?
Oh, and he's not. He's a liability. Like,
yeah.
Can you put him in the match right now with Rey Mysterio?
No.
Then why you put him in the card? Rey Mysterio can wrestle with anyone.
Yep.
So, like, it's a return. They've done this twice now. This is the second time that they bring him back after an injury or anxiety, whatever. You're telling me that this time is going to be different? Literally, the second that he was back, there was already something controversial on him. Like, you can't have this guy in the locker room. Why is he in the locker room? Like, who is he friends with backstage? That
Vince.
People are like, yeah, we got to keep him.
It's Vince.
Yeah.
Vince sees something in him, and I don't get it.
Like, if you name all the releases right now that they happened in like the Black Wednesday or whatever it was called, there was 30 guys or 30 girls or whatever. Doesn't he strike you as the person that should have been in there?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's so many guys I can name on that list that I would have rather kept. Like, tag team, Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, really.
Rusev. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't want to see what they're going to do with him. Now he's fighting Jeff Hardy, so he's probably going to put Jeff Hardy on the shelf again. So, listen, that's the only time I'm going to talk to him about this podcast, because with all the shit he's done online, I'm not much more interested in him.
Oh, don't worry, Zach. He'll come up later.
I think. I think he might actually will hurt Jeff Hardy or a superstar, and it's just like Vince is just not gonna care. Like, it's just all the fans and everything are gonna care, but nobody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a circle.
It's a train wreck waiting to happen.
Like, in a way, I understand why he doesn't listen to the fans, but Vince doesn't listen to the fans whatsoever.
Oh, but like, hey, you know, I mean, he's not the worst person that's ever worked in WWE yet.
True.
I mean, Enzo was pretty bad.
But
I don't know if he's Lars Sullivan, but he was still pretty bad. And
True.
I don't know. I'll throw Chris Benoit's name out there, but out of someone that has done something pretty bad, there's one. But, you know, let's put it this way. He's going to be off TV. There's no angle for him at the Rumble. There's going to be no angle for him at WrestleMania. This is like an American. To me, he's an American Vladimir Kozlov.
Yeah.
He's just big.
Yep. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Moving on. Okay, this match I was really confused as to why it happened. Bayley had a match with Sasha Banks on Smackdown.
Wasn't it? I'm pretty sure wasn't it for the championship?
It was for the title, yeah. And it's like they have a match at Hell in a Cell scheduled. Why are you having this match now? Obviously, Sasha's not going to win it.
Sasha's hurt.
Yeah.
I just
I don't know what.
Like, the match was good. I'll give him that. The match was fine, but like, you would expect that from a Bayley Sasha Banks match, I guess. But
this would have made sense to me if like someone like Charlotte was drafted to SmackDown. Like, you could have had Charlotte just attack both of them at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. But I'm not getting what they're doing with these two. Like we said a few times, they should start that at the Rumble.
Yeah, it's.
I'm sure Sasha wouldn't mind 2 months off before the Rumble and win it. I don't think anybody would.
It's way too early right now. It's like the way it's unfolding right now is almost like if the WrestleMania match is not going to be those two.
Yeah.
Which it should be, but...
Yeah, like, it should, and, like, I would, like, where those people like Sasha and Bayley are going, thought Vince would have probably tried harder to try to push that away until people try, like, some people come back and get that reaction. Because, like, if you did, like Zach said, kind of just injure her, like, injure her, pretend whatever, and then kind of bring her back at the Rumble, boom, huge pop. That's your spark for the Royal Rumble for women's side, and maybe add a couple people in there, and and then make Sasha win it. Boom, going for Bayley. WrestleMania. Hopefully, people are back by then, which probably not going to be, but I mean, hopefully, we're praying. But I mean, like right now, like having a match, like literally, like telling everybody that Sasha has a crazy bad neck injury, and then 2 weeks later she comes back, and then she's like, oh, she's totally fine for wrestling now, like nothing even ever happened, and then during the match she'll get hit in the throat, like she'll just like start like grabbing her throat, and I just think like we all knew that Bayley was gonna do something, and it wasn't gonna be real match, something like she was gonna hit her with something, and all knew what it was gonna be because she's been using it for the last like 18 years. So I mean,
yeah, it's really weird booking.
Do you know what this kind of reminds me of?
What's that?
Remember when Shinsuke won the Rumble?
Mm-hmm.
How excited we were that Shinsuke was going to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It's like they're doing that, but without even getting to the Rumble yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when that match was announced, we were so happy. We were like, oh my god, like AJ and Shinsuke, they're going to change WWE's landscape. They're going to have a New Japan kind of match. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to do this. Turned out to be a WWE match, but still a good match. But the excitement when Shinsuke won the Rumble to know that we were getting Shinsuke AJ, we all want Sasha Bayley. Like, that's a match we've been waiting for on that big stage for a long time. Like, we've seen them wrestle against each other at WrestleMania, but it was with other people. Just have those two have an NXT match like they had, and you're going to sell tickets. Like, if you could sell tickets right now, but so I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the next match, which was the New Day versus Shinsuke and Cesaro. And I had some I had some strong words on this one, because first of all, New Day won the championships, which I like the New Day, and I like them as champions. But it takes away so much from Shinsuke and Cesaro. Like, what have they done as champions? They beat the Lucha House Party, and then they lose to Street Profits, and then they lose to New Day. Great title run.
Dude, they literally
stay on Smackdown, right? I'm pretty sure they still stayed on Smackdown.
Yeah, they're still on Smackdown.
Oh, they're probably going to be doing the exact same thing against the Street Profits, where the Street Profits are probably just going to beat them every single time, and then like it's just going to be the exact same thing, and
Cesaro's going to go back real well, and Street Profits look good, but here's the thing though, like I thought about this just when you said it. I was like, they were so good that they broke up the Lucha House Party.
Yeah.
Like they literally split up on SmackDown and Raw. Like, listen, we know how bad the tag team division is on Raw and on SmackDown, and then just in WWE in general. God, they got to do something.
Yeah,
tag team's is nothing, but
yeah, it's crazy.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, there really is only like 2 or 3 tag teams per brand right now, and that's really sad for WWE. And then
we all want for like tag teams and stuff. Like we want that, like even like the New Day against the Usos, like those type of matches. We'd like to see those like almost every single time. Like we want those exciting matches, but if you keep breaking off tag teams and releasing tag teams, it's gonna hit the fan. But
it's just bad booking. Like
Yeah.
you literally, first of all, who knows if the New Day's recovered from their injuries? Kofi to me seems like he came back way too fast. Just because of his injury that he did have. Xavier had one of the worst injuries. I think it was an ACL or something like that. So
yeah, but Xavier's been out for a while.
Yeah, he's been out for a while, but is it like, are they healthy enough to go back to regular scheduling?
Right.
It's going to take some time. Why not make an angle out of the New Day coming back? Like,
yeah,
why not make them struggle? Why give them the belt right away? That's kind of like defeating the purpose of building up anyone.
Like even that, like them coming back, there wasn't like a promo or anything like that. They kind of just showed up. And there was like nothing special about it, which was odd because it's one of the best tag teams right now, The
thing was like if they would have like struggled, I feel like if they would have struggled, this would have been like, oh, if they struggled, maybe they're gonna turn on each other, like kind of do that storyline again. They did every other tag team, like literally they do the same story. And that's probably what I would be scared of, which would be breaking the New Day, which are probably your best or your second best tag team that pretty much have because of that chemistry. But I
got a question for you guys. Is the New Day the best tag team of the decade?
Of the decade.
Decade?
Okay, for WWE, yes, 100%. In all of wrestling, no.
Yeah.
Are you giving it to?
I'm just making sure I'm confident with my answer here. Yeah.
There's not been a group that's been literally like together for that long.
I'd have to go with the Young Bucks.
Oh, that's a good one. They'll never break up, I don't think.
Yeah, they're just too good together.
If they do, that wrestling match, Nate versus Matt, will be probably the best match we've ever seen.
Yeah. Unless it's a Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose situation where they're like, oh yeah, these people should have such good chemistry, and then the match just sucks.
Mandy Rose has better chemistry with Dana Brooke, and it's only been 2 weeks.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's so sad.
What do you think, Pat? Best tag team of the decade?
Like, I mean, you gotta give them where respect is due, right? Like they're 8-time champs now, and they're the longest that have had the tag team champs for like the longest time. And like, you know what I mean? Like they've already put their foot in stone. Like they've already, if they decided to retire right now, we'd all remember the New Day. But obviously, they're still like Xavier Woods can still do it. Like it's his first time, and Kofi doesn't look like he's aged. Well, obviously maybe from can tell a little bit, but Big E's still that big guy, and I think they're like literally the perfect tag team where they have that big guy, they have like a high flyer mixed with like a great wrestler, like you know what I mean? They have that perfect kind of team. So
have the perfect blend of big guys,
all wrestlers, and there's not like that one guy that kind of like you said, like Enzo and Big Cass, like you don't want that small guy with the big guy because it's not going to work out because the big guy's always going to carry you in the end, right? But with the New Day, you've seen Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston win championships with them too without Big E, like literally what just happened. So I would say so.
To me, if Kofi didn't win the WWE Championship, Kofi would be the most underrated wrestler of all time.
Oh yeah.
Ever. The other one that comes to mind is Kane. Like if you think of like Kofi just by himself before he won was there anyone more deserving to win the WWE Championship
at that time? No.
Oh yeah.
Or at WrestleMania, really, you could argue Daniel Bryan when he won it at 30, but to me, Kofi Kingston at the time, there was nobody on the roster that deserved it more. No one, absolutely no one. And I think that to me, they are the best tag team of the decade, just because like all the breakups that could have happened, like, of all Big E turning heel, I'm sure we've thought of at least once or twice. They stayed together, dude, and they stayed for a long time. Usos deserve a mention too, because
I think the only reason why you can't mention the Usos is maybe because because the New Day was in there, right? Because every time they would win it, the Usos or the New Day would literally just win it right back. You know what I mean? So, and they wouldn't really have that longevity. But they would definitely like put up amazing matches because they're brothers, right? You have the best chemistry with family. So, I mean.
See, I think the best part with the New Day too is that like they're not a good tag team because of good booking. They're a good tag team because of the effort that they've put into the business and how they've carried their characters and built themselves up in the company, not based off of what Vince gave them or whatever like that. It's strictly based off what they've brought to the table, which is far beyond what you can say for most other tag teams, you know?
This is going to be their most interesting run, because for the longest time, like I was always saying, you can't, like, if one of them gets hurt, it takes away a lot from the group. Like the group itself, you needed all three to make the group amazing. You needed Kofi wrestling and jumping everywhere. You needed Xavier talking on the microphone, and you needed Big E just bumping. So this run right here is going to be the most interesting one. I mean, Kofi and Xavier are by themselves. What are they going to do? Big E's by himself. What is he going to do? I'm sure they'll get booked pretty good. But this is going to be like the most telling time for the New Day for sure.
I think one of the interesting things is Big E is usually the one who does the intro like live every time, but he's not on Raw anymore. He's not with them. So what are they gonna do for the intro? Is Big E gonna like pre-record something, or is he gonna show up just for that?
I think they're just gonna say it's a new day. Yes, it is.
Like that's no.
It's just gonna be weird. It's just gonna be weird. It's gonna just. New Day, yes it is, and then they just come out.
Yeah, I don't.
Isn't that what they did? Isn't that what they for their match on Raw? I'm pretty sure that's what they did, didn't it?
That's what they do for the Rumble. Like when Kofi comes out or Xavier comes out, it's a new day, yes it is, and there it goes.
Yeah, I mean the first one that enters usually they do the intro, I think, and then the other two.
Well, no, it's when Big E enters.
Oh
Big
yeah. You're right.
Are we still on Smackdown?
Yeah, we have one more match. Okay. The last match of the night, which was The Fiend versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah, there was a good spot in that, wasn't there? Wasn't like a stunner into like didn't even let go of the mandible claw and just fucking
yeah. He like it was like almost a no sell for the stunner, but like it worked.
Yeah, it was sick. It was that one or the first match would probably be best match, but it'd probably be the first one, obviously, but. One thing like The Fiend, you can never go wrong with, and Kevin Owens, he's just amazing, man. He's probably I think he would be probably my second favorite wrestler in right now. Like he could literally contend for any championship at any time, and he's just like the perfect wrestler to have in your brand, obviously, but you know, putting him in Underground and then. Him, you know, I know Alex, you like Aleister Black, but I mean,
yeah,
I know you love Aleister Black. But, you know, when he finally beat Aleister Black in the match, I think it was like just this past Raw or Smackdown or whatever, or Raw, yeah. So I mean, and like, I think Kevin Owens needs to be in that title run again, and just I want him to be in that title run, and. You know, with the Fiend going to Raw, I don't know what's gonna happen with him. I don't know if he's gonna go, you know, against Drew McIntyre. If he's gonna go, you know, maybe he goes after the, you know, Bobby Lashley and his title, and like I don't know, like I don't know what he's gonna do. get the Hurt Business.
I'm not sure you could put the U.S. title on the Fiend though.
Oh, like yeah, obviously not. But like at him, because you can't just, you have to have the Fiend go after a title, and you know what I mean. Like, and anyways, but that's
to me, like, oh, the way I saw it was the Big E Sheamus match was the best match.
Yes.
The Kevin Owens Fiend match was the best booking, because the way that they booked it, they made I know, Alex, you're not gonna like this, but they made Kevin Owens win on Monday. So it was like, if he went back, it kind of felt like he went back to the old Kevin Owens for a little bit, like, right? And that's what the Fiend character does to people.
Yeah.
Like, it brings them back to who they were. And for the Fiend, this is a storyline right now with Alexa Bliss. I'm excited to see where that's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And what if you want to book Fiend versus Drew McIntyre? Okay, but don't do it for the belt. The Fiend doesn't need a belt right now. He obviously would be winning the belt. Like, why wouldn't he be winning the belt? But he doesn't need it right now. It's kind of, it's not like the Undertaker, but it's kind of like that character is too good to even be considered. Like, as soon as the Fiend wins the belt, you know whoever beats him to get the belt, it's gonna suck.
See, yeah, the thing with the Fiend and him having a belt is it kind of limits what he can actually do.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you kind of treat him as new Undertaker? He technically doesn't need a belt. Not like you can't compare like both of them, but like, I mean, like, where you just put him in big matches and make him win, like, you know, kind of him having rivalries on top of rivalries and him just winning every single one of them. But him winning doesn't even matter about going against titles, right?
No, it doesn't. Like, he's got two. Bray Wyatt himself got one, and he's got two, I think, as the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to be a champion for him to be more validated. Like, he was literally the first pick on Raw, like number one. That's the guy. Whoever's doing the draft, that's who Raw wanted number one. So if you would go back 10 years in time and Undertaker was still wrestling every week, would probably say the Undertaker would have been the first pick no matter what. So, like, to me, he needs a storyline of some kind. And I don't know what's going to happen with him and Alexa Bliss. But I mean, I haven't glanced over the roster of Raw right now, who he could fight. The one person I don't want him to fight is Braun Strowman. I think we don't want to do that anymore for a while. But
yeah,
like, you can't be giving these supernatural characters the belts, because it'll take a lot off of it, whoever beats them.
I think the one thing that's really cool with the Fiend is he's able to do promos, like, not by himself, but with himself, instead of promos with someone else, and it works. I've never seen that before, and that's really cool, I think.
Whoever helped them build this character and this, like, all this psychological stuff is a genius.
Yep, absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that was a long SmackDown segment.
It was.
I think that was the longest SmackDown segment we've ever had. On to Raw, which started off also with big impact. Randy Orton delivering a promo, and then Drew McIntyre coming out, and them just brawling it out outside the ring. I thought it was really cool. I think that we've seen a lot of their matches already, so we don't need to see them have like an actual official match, but just seeing them fight each other just for the sake of, I don't like you and I know you're coming for my belt, so I'm going to kick the crap out of you, was perfect.
Yeah, sick and tired of each other.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre had this line, I didn't save it, but he was like, I made this promise that if I was in a building at the same place and same time as you, I was going to come kick your ass. And so I'm here to deliver my promise. And then he rips off his shirt and walks down the ramp to go fight him. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful booking.
Yes. God.
Yeah.
I do love Drew McIntyre, though. He's really good.
Yeah, but this has to be the last match. Like, you can't book him again.
Oh. Yeah, before Hell in a Cell, you mean.
If Drew wins, and Randy is lost 3 times in a row, you move on. But if Randy wins, do you give him another match, like, for the belt again, and then have Edge come in or someone come in and destroy Randy? Like,
I think
with
go ahead.
if they come back, I think the legends have to, they're probably gonna come into it again somehow. But I mean, we'll see. But
how much do you think Ric Flair is getting paid to do all these appearances?
I don't know, but he's probably getting paid in hookers and coke.
More than all 30 guys that were released.
Yeah, really though. I was gonna say something about this, but I completely forgot. We were talking about Drew. Oh yeah. So if you make Randy win, I think the only logical way that you make it so Drew doesn't have another match with him is if you put Drew with the Fiend. Like
Tyson Fury.
Hell no, Drew with Tyson? Gross. Oh, Zach, that's such bad booking.
Feuding on Twitter.
I don't care if they were feuding on Twitter. I don't want to see Tyson Fury in WWE again. Hate that guy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think the Fiend and Drew McIntyre would probably... The Fiend would bring out the best in Drew McIntyre.
Oh, absolutely. I think like their promo game would be great. I think the matches would be amazing. Implicating Alexa Bliss in there somehow. I'm not sure how, but I think you could do that. Make it great. I would like to see another match where it's like not in a ring or something, like at the kind of like the Hardy compound matches and stuff like that, but with the Fiend and Drew.
And like one thing about too, when they started brawling or whatever, and I probably will get into it like later, but when they came into the women's match, like literally as soon as they were done, kind of cuts off the women again.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know what I mean? And now I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, you don't like. There was like a number one contenders match, and then just you win, and then just out of nowhere, like the announcer's like, oh look, and then it just goes right on them, and then just kind of just doesn't do anything.
I think
the winner.
I think the reason they did it, and I completely disagree with it, but I think the reason is to show like they started off the event, or not the event, they started off the show with them fighting, and it's like they've been fighting the entire time that the show's been going, and that it finishes with them still fighting. Which is, it's such bad booking. Like, just, they had the starting point, that was fine. They booked that really well. You don't have to keep that going for the rest of the show.
Agreed.
Which, speaking of the rest of the show, next match was easily my favorite match of the night. Aleister Black and Kevin Owens had a no disqualification match, which, in my personal opinion, was easily a 4-star match. This is
the Aleister Black match was your favorite match?
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding?
I hated the ending, but I'm telling you right now, this match blew my mind. Okay, so I remember, I think it was it was after their first match together. I said something along the lines of, I wanted Kevin Owens puts out his best matches when there's some external factor to it, tables, chairs, whatever. That's exactly what we got to see in this match. Kevin Owens and Aleister Black both pushed each other to amazing limits. I saw some creative stuff in that match. A lot of painful moves that made me cringe because my back was in pain and I wasn't even the one taking those bumps.
Yep.
And then Kevin Owens
does that to everyone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he does. I still remember the takeover match between him and Adam Cole with the chair spot where you're supposed to do the chairs as they usually do, where it's like the backs are this way and then it's like stacking like this, but instead they flip them. Oh. That hurt my back just thinking of it. Yeah. But yeah, for the third straight fight in a row, Kevin Owens gets a clean victory over Aleister Black, who's supposed to be attacking him, and I don't get it. Like, if he's the heel one here, he's the one who started all of this stuff, and he's just losing all of these matches cleanly. I don't get it.
First of all, I liked it. Like Kevin Owens, to me, being like that in the fucking tables match or extreme match or whatever it was, he always seeks for the high spot, and
Yeah.
when you have someone like that on your roster, you literally have a person that takes what someone would consider a high spot and then brings it up a level. Because he can do like 4 or 5 of those in the match and then have like the finish be like something else, something huge. So the only thing I didn't like of all this is just the fact that Aleister Black has this new character and he's not winning right now. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But I'm not offended that Kevin Owens is winning or beating Aleister Black, because let's be real, Kevin Owens having this kind of gimmick going to SmackDown is a threat to Sami Zayn right now. And how many times have we wanted to see another Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens match?
Amazing.
We always want to see more. We always want to see more.
First of all, book a ladder match of like 8 people for the Intercontinental title match. Give us a ladder match or a tables, ladders, and chairs match at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, heel, face, heel, whatever. Like, that's the one thing that they brought from NXT, and they did like real quick when they got the chance to do it. It was a shame because we were like, man, imagine like in 4 or 5 years from now when they're actually like the top guys and they can actually have a chance to go for titles here. So first of all, Sami Zayn can keep the Intercontinental title all his life if he wants. Sami Zayn is so much fun to watch. So why not have it at WrestleMania? Make it a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
It'd be fun.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'd watch it. I can tell you. I would watch it.
Yeah. One thing with this match, didn't this match feel like it should have been a pay-per-view match? Like the quality of it? That could have easily been a main event. I would have been happy with a main event with a pay-per-view main event like that. 100% happy.
Yeah, 100%.
I have a question for you guys.
Ooh.
Since WWE doesn't really seem to know how to book Aleister Black or what they really want to do with his character, do you think he'd be a better fit going back to NXT right now?
No.
Why not?
There's too many guys there they can push.
You know what? I disagree with that.
Ooh, a disagreement.
I think Aleister Black would make sense over 90% of the NXT roster right now as a champion.
Here's what I will say. If they're in the talks right now and in the works to bring up the Undisputed Era, yes, you can bring Aleister Black back.
I think you could like I like Aleister's gimmick when, you know, he kind of came up from like every entrance. He like came like whenever he was on, and it like brought him up. And I kind of missed that gimmick where he was kind of very dark. He didn't say much. He kind of didn't do really much. But as soon as he got in the ring, you knew like you were kind of afraid of him. And I think if he did go to NXT, I feel like they should bring that gimmick back on where he kind of maybe surprises NXT champion, or maybe goes, you know, surprises the North American champion or whatever. It would have to be for a champion. I think Aleister Black could easily do that. They didn't, which I
just think that it's a time thing. Like, yeah, I think you have to realize that Kevin Owens has been on the main roster for a lot longer than Aleister has, and I think that Aleister has to pay his dues a little bit to get up there and get a title run or something.
Right now, they haven't really done much with like Aleister. Like, I mean, you've seen like when he started, like when he came up main roster, he kind of just, you know, these random guys. He kind of just fought these random guys, and he just black mass, boom, and then that was the whole match, and then it kind of brought him when. Here's how good Aleister Black is, though. Like, do you remember the Velveteen Dream thing, where Velveteen was literally just trying to make Aleister say his name? And it was like the best match of Takeover because of that. So, like, it's not like he can't do it. I just think that he's in an unfortunate spot right now where there's other guys that need to be pushed before him. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I love Aleister, Alex. I swear I do.
You better. He's a great performer. All right. You know, I don't even want to talk about the next point. I literally just wrote the words Lars Sullivan, and I'm just... No, it just says Lars Sullivan, and I don't want to talk about it. So we're just not gonna.
Let's move on. Move on.
Next up, okay. Really good triple threat match between AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Seth Rollins. Which, to me, this basically just feels like they're replacing Sami Zayn for Seth Rollins and doing the same match. Which
Here's what I liked about it. First of all, Seth didn't need the win. He's going to SmackDown anyways.
Yep.
So this is the final match. It was a good match. He doesn't need the win. He goes to SmackDown. Fine. AJ needs the win because he's the one that was like the lowest of the lows right now, who's not winning anything.
Yep, and he got the win.
This win will give him a little bit better booking.
Yep.
And you set up a Jeff Hardy versus Elias feud, which I would love to see.
Yeah, Elias returned.
I think that was perfect booking right there for all three guys. So now you got Seth going to SmackDown, probably to face Roman Reigns. I think that's probably going to be the WrestleMania match, if I'm being honest now. You have Jeff Hardy feuding with somebody else, which hopefully won't be Lars Sullivan, and we can get that behind the way. You have Elias coming back to shock value for me. Let's put it that way. I didn't think there was going to be a guitar shot there. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
I'm really happy though. I think
AJ gets the win. So
yep, it was well-deserved win. But yeah, I've been a big fan of. I mean, I wouldn't say big fan, but I've been a fan of Elias. I really liked his gimmick. I don't know why I keep thinking of the WrestleMania moment between him and John Cena and stuff, and I really liked that segment. Oddly enough. But yeah, I'm happy that he's back, and I think Jeff Hardy is a good fit for him to be feuding with, and I think they can put on some really good matches.
Yeah, because Elias is that kind of guy that can just, you're happy to see him if he's playing guitar.
Yep, absolutely.
You're just happy to see him there.
Yep.
And like Jeff Hardy's the perfect baby. He's perfect to go as a heel.
This was one of those matches where, yeah, like I could see this also being like a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
Styles, Hardy, and Rollins, like those are huge names.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that we're at the point right now where the champion has to be like a huge guy.
Yeah, I mean
doesn't that make you think of Jeff Hardy, Triple H, and Edge? Remember that Armageddon match where Hardy won?
Yep.
Finally, the WWE Championship. Or it was just like it's the same. It's kind of the same scenario where you have your three good wrestlers together in the championship match. But nowadays, you have that match, and you have the two big guys that are champion, and it's shitty for wrestling, but I mean, not the one signing people right now.
So. Do you know what this is making me think? It's like this is all very Vince, right? Like the champions have to be these big guys and stuff like that, but like I'm starting to think maybe this is like Vince's way of saying like, hey, these are my last couple of years in the business. I only got a bit more. I'm gonna do things my way. My
way or the highway.
Exactly. And so like I think things are gonna change a lot once Vince is gone, but I still give him another couple of years at least before that happens.
Vince will go. The book. It was kind of like Ultimate Warrior. Like he got his Hall of Fame thing. He did a promo and then he passed away. Kind of the same thing with Vince. He's gonna book Raw or SmackDown or a pay-per-view, and then 2 days later he's gonna croak or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Vince isn't leaving till he's dead.
After Vince is gone, would it be Stephanie taking over, or no? It'd be Triple H.
I think it would be Trip.
I think it would be the three.
Or
Shane, Triple H, and Steph.
If Triple H, then that'd be great.
I don't want Shane involved.
Have you guys seen? There was a booking from Parts Fun Known, which is by Adam Blompeed, who used to be in What Culture Wrestling. He booked what they should do when Vince is no longer able to in charge.
Okay.
If you have a chance, go check that video out. It's very good. He was saying like you should just book no more Raw, no more SmackDown, and just have a WWE programming of 3 hours per week. You could probably still keep your NXT there, but just have the one programming. Then he said, like, who would be in charge of the company? Would it be Triple H or would it be Shane McMahon? And then they would have, Triple H would take Seth Rollins to wrestle the match, and then Shane would take. I mean, you kind of want to say the Undertaker, but you can't really now anymore because he's kind of done. But he's like a Seth Rollins versus Rock match, just to have, because I mean, Shane would probably convince Rock to be like, yo, Triple H has been your rival forever, and Vince thought you were the biggest star, and you'd be wrestling for Vince McMahon here. And Triple H would be like, well, Seth Rollins has been my guy forever. He's been an NXT champion first. He was the guy in charge of the authority. Like, you would just push Seth Rollins to the moon because Seth would win, and then you can have Triple H be in charge, which in hindsight is kind of what we all really want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it's run anything like NXT, I think the company will be much better off that way.
There you go. So if you get a chance, Parts Fun Known, and it's Adam Blompede's video of what WWE will do when Vince is done. Take a look at it. It's good.
Next up, Angel Garza had a match with Andrade.
You know what? About this match, I'm glad that Angel Garza won, and I hope do something with them, but they're probably going to have a couple more matches. And probably going to be they're probably going to repeat it quite a bit between him and Andrade. I'm not the biggest fan of Andrade, not going to lie. I don't, I know some people really like him, but I'm not a big fan.
I absolutely love Andrade.
Oh yeah.
I like Andrade, but I think he's stuck right now because Andrade and Angel Garza could have been an amazing tag team for a long time. That's how I saw it.
That's what I thought they were gonna do, but they kind of just blew it. They blew it again.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was interesting, but the match ended. The match ended afterwards with The Fiend and Alexa Bliss coming out, and they both gave a Sister Abigail to Andrade and Zelina Vega, which I've talked enough about Alexa Bliss's delivery on that move. But seeing both of them side by side give it together, Alexa Bliss is miles ahead of Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, but her delivery for that was impeccable. That shit got me off my chair standing with the biggest smile on my face. I have never seen that move hit so crisp before.
What got me out of my chair was the fact that the lights came down and we all thought it was Bray and it was Alexa. That was to me, it was like, oh,
that was so cool. That was so cool. I'm so happy with this.
It's getting good. Hopefully they stick with it. I really hope they stick with this storyline of.
Do you think they might do something along the lines of Fiend, Alexa versus Charlotte and Andrade?
No.
There's a lot of talks of Charlotte and Andrade stable or something.
But I just don't see the mix.
I don't think they would win.
Yeah, I can't see. I can't see that at all. I don't know. I don't see Fiend wanting to feud with Andrade. I don't see how that works, where that chemistry is.
Charlotte would just wrestle the whole match against Selena. Alexa, sorry.
Yeah. Can I just say that, this Raw so far, pretty damn good. Raw has been horrendous for 2020, and this has been so far a pretty decent Raw. I gotta give them that.
It was a little better.
Yeah,
it's getting there. It's getting there.
They
got rid of Raw Underground, so.
Exactly. Exactly. Raw Underground's not there, and then
you're gonna fit right in.
Raw Underground with actual matches that are actually good. Good job.
Are we changing our name to Fuck Raw Underground?
I don't think that will get us any sponsorship.
You're right.
I got breaking news. Oh. from the Twitter page, Daniel Bryan is returning on Friday Night Smackdown this week.
Oh yeah, that was announced like yesterday or something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I just saw it on Twitter. So
Yeah, he's
that's
gonna
exciting.
have a match, I think.
What do you think they'll do with Daniel Bryan?
Sami
I
Zayn?
don't know. He's gotta be in it. Not really. I don't really want to see that right now.
Why not? I think that would be the best thing to do with Daniel.
I think I'd rather see Sammy versus Kevin again. Sorry. But,
I think it's too soon.
I don't know. I look at the SmackDown roster, I guess.
So like I can't see Daniel Bryan not going for a title right now, and I can't see him going for Roman, so.
Oh. Yeah, Daniel's gonna be.
He might have like some like back matches where it's like those comeback matches where he's kind of just doing his thing and kind of maybe like winning a match here and there, maybe going against Matt Riddle, but Matt Riddle would probably be losing, and then like, you know what I mean. But like I would love to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I would. I mean, I don't know what you would do after that, because obviously you want to see Kevin Owens win that title, and he's always had the edge over Sami Zayn in a way. But no, I don't know what they. I'm curious to see what they do with Daniel Bryan, because there is a lot of storylines going on right now, and I don't know who maybe Aleister Black, maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say Aleister Black.
And maybe Aleister Black comes back and is like, I'm tired of, of thinking, like, everybody thinks that you're great, but you're actually not, and then just kind of attack somebody to Kevin Owens, but actually, win.
Finally wins matches.
Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Here's a good feud. Dominic Mysterio.
With Daniel?
Daniel Bryan.
No.
That'd be just two very, like, baby face.
Because of the way that the draft was done, where they drafted Ray and Dominic as a single thing, they're not going to split them up. Yeah, they're not going to split them up yet. They're going to keep them together for a while, I think.
Oh, you know how we're talking about tag teams and kind of like how they're kind of low now on tag teams? On SmackDown, you have the Street Profits.
Yep.
You have Cesaro and Shinsuke. And you have Ray and Dominic.
Yep.
So that's three good tag teams right there. So they gotta somehow keep them together and make it work.
Yeah, definitely.
But Dominic Mysterio is gonna go after Seth Rollins, because literally right after they got drafted, they were like, "Oh, we're definitely going after Seth." Like,
yeah.
I mean,
as soon as both of them were drafted to the same roster, it was like, or the same brand, like, yeah, okay, they're gonna feud there.
There you go.
But we're gonna talk about the draft a little later.
Yeah. I'm
just pissed.
We all are. Moving on. The New Day had their first match as were they Raw champions at that time, or were they still SmackDown?
Yeah,
I think they were Raw.
Against Dolph and Rude,
against
right?
Dolph and Rude, which I'm surprised they're bringing back together, because I feel like both of those people are so much better as single stars, but match.
Where do you put them? Who do you put them against?
Yeah, it's hard to book them, but like as a tag team, they just
needs to work with someone that needs to get momentum. Robert Roode needs momentum. Period.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with the Rude thing, but like I feel like Ziggler has proven himself to be worthy of a title shot by himself. Everyone praises.
Ziggler needs that like one last run.
Yeah, like everyone praises his ability to sell moves, and as great as that is, I think he's just solid in the ring in general. Even just when it comes to delivering moves, he has a good set of moves himself. His finishers are entertaining. He's fun to watch in the ring. He's really good on the mic. Like, I don't see what WWE is not seeing in Dolph Ziggler, is what I'm trying to get at.
I don't know what they... So, like, with Dolph Ziggler thing, like, yeah, like, we all know when he was, like, he went to Raw or whatever, or he got traded to Raw, and then he faced McIntyre. Then they had a really good match of, like, I think was it TLC match or Tables, Lies, and Chairs match? I think that's what it was, wasn't it? But anyways, they had a good match, and then he obviously Dolph Ziggler lost. Like, you're not gonna take the championship off Drew, and then I don't like tag team with him and Rude. Like, it's just gonna kind of be the whole thing again where it's just gonna be that team who's gonna lose. Like, it's just, and it's sad. Like Rude's a very good wrestler. Dolph's a very good wrestler. Like, you have a veteran and you have somewhat of a newer superstar, I guess you could say. He's not
newer.
super old,
I would say newer superstar to WWE, but still very much a veteran.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, because the Street Profits, I don't think they should lose. Like, I love watching them wrestle. They're really fun. Like, that frog splat, like what Montez Ford does, man, it's crazy. And
I think I said it was one of the most underrated guys I'm looking at right now.
And Street Profits together are literally perfect. And I have no clue what they're gonna do with Dolph and Rude.
Do you like to see a triple threat tag team match of the Mysterios, Shinsuke, and Cesaro and Street Profits? I think that'd be good.
That wouldn't be too bad.
I'd watch it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would watch it.
You'd watch anything, Alex.
That is very true. I would love to watch two hobos wrestle with a stick. Like, that shit.
Like, I would like to watch it, but I think we all know what the outcome's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Street Profits. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts unless you put it on Dominic and Ray.
Unless it's a non-title match.
Unless it's a non-title match, then go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be dope to really see a ladder match, to see Ray in a ladder match, to see what Dominic can do in a high stakes match like that, because we've all seen he's a very good wrestler. He can do not what Ray can do, but he's starting well. He's starting very well for being that young and not even being in NXT, just kind of coming straight up to the main roster. I would like to see that, because we all know Dolph's been in those matches. He knows how to work his way, so he'd be that veteran. Ray knows how to do it, so he would help his son in a way. Street Profits would be new, but I think Montez Ford would be perfect for a ladder match, because I feel like he would be kind of like a Jeff Hardy in a way, where he would be just jumping off high places. You know what I mean? If he gets on top of a ladder, he'll start looking everywhere, and he'll be like, yeah, and then just scream and then jump off. Oh.
Yeah. It could be a good match for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Moving on. Where am I in my notes? Oh, yeah. Ricochet had a match with Cedric Alexander where the stipulation was if Ricochet lost the match, he would be part of the Hurt Business. We've seen them have their matches a bunch of times, and yeah, sure, they're good. But the ending of this match was something we haven't seen for a while.
Shout out to Eddie Guerrero on that one.
Yeah, with the chair shot, the fake chair shot, hitting it on the ground, passing it over to Cedric, and then laying down. Ref counted him out. Ricochet wins by DQ.
With no crowd there, it kind of looked weird. But
yeah.
If there was a crowd there, Ricochet would have gotten a huge pop.
Such a huge pop. Like, I know that they did their WWE editing to edit in a pop, but like, they didn't make the pop big enough. Honestly.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you're right. I got nothing to say about that. That's fine. That's it was a good match, and it's one of those things where it just caught me off guard. Like, I didn't think they were going to do it, but it was still okay. I'm not salty about it.
Yeah, it's one thing that the Hurt Business isn't 3 out of the 6 matches on not on pay-per-view on a show, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah. Really.
But like the way that they made the match end, it still makes the Hurt Business look strong while keeping Ricochet, I guess, with momentum. Best way they could have ended that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad Ricochet. If Ricochet would have lost, and then he would have been a part of the Hurt Business, it just would have been too much. Like, it would have been too much for that group. And like,
have a spin on it, anyways. Though. Say Ricochet would have lost. Could they have booked it the way that Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatt family was?
Maybe.
To maybe make Ricochet just a little bit bigger star by doing that?
I think not, because when Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family, they kind of made him like the main focus of it at the time.
Yeah, I guess. Depending on how you would book it, I guess.
Yeah, like I think it's hard to do that now, which like they kind of did that with Cedric already, I find. Like Cedric had that Daniel spot.
Yeah, but Cedric's a part of the Hurt Business now, and there's nobody like questioning it. Like if Ricochet was in there, and you would have seen some stuff backstage of like Ricochet being mad or something, or not agreeing with what they're doing, like that way you could have booked it, I think. But you know, Cedric, like to me, Cedric's in it. Like he's not like wanting to be.
I don't know.
Against the Hurt Business.
I have this weird theory in my mind where Cedric is eventually gonna just kind of come out as being like a traitor to the Hurt Business, and is gonna try to take them out from the inside by not necessarily by like starting feuds with them, but by making them turn on each other.
Maybe.
That's just my theory, though.
Like when he joined it, like that's what I thought he was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like Shelton Benjamin, when he said, "You better not be like fooling us or something like that, or I will come after you." And then he was like, "No, don't worry about it." And then when he left, he kind of put a little smirk or something, and I was like, "That's exactly what they're doing. That's literally exactly what." But I don't know. Maybe they're deciding now not to. But that's what I thought they were gonna do. But
yeah, they can swerve us. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, there's plenty of things they can do with that for sure. What's next? Damn. Okay, that was aggressive.
Sorry, but we've been. Well, how long has this podcast been? Like an hour.
Yeah.
So far, and we were literally still on the first two topics.
Next is the Women's Battle Royal to determine the #1 contender for Asuka's championship, who was won by none other than the legendary Lana.
Of course.
Pat, what's Lana backwards?
You know what? I'm gonna let that up to the audience. You know what I mean? You know.
That's how she wrestles.
True.
Oh, I mean, that's what she looks like when she wrestles. But I mean,
sorry, like I went on a rant on the female roster last week. I don't feel like going through another one. To me, I'm hoping that like one of the things of like Lana winning the Battle Royal, giving her like that last good match, just because she's leaving the company pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't know. They split up Natalya and Lana, which we already talked about how the women's tag division has been fragile, and they just broke up another women's tag team. Oh my god. Okay. Whatever. I'm over it. I'm so over that, but
I don't think that was going to be long anyways.
Yeah.
Really, like Lana, we know that she's not. She was great with Rusev, and that's pretty much about it. So, I mean...
Here's my, like, it's not bad booking segment or anything, but they literally cut out Mustafa Ali talking as the leader of Retribution for the first time for Lana winning a Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Where do the priorities lies, right?
Yeah, Retribution wasn't on Raw.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
It's like, I wouldn't have been so upset that they wouldn't have been on Raw just because of the shock factor of last week. Or the week, was it last week or the week before?
It was last week, yeah.
Was it last week? Okay. But announcing that Ali was going to speak and then he didn't speak was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it was... I don't know. Just made no sense. Yeah.
Nothing more on Lana, please.
No, that's it for Raw. Moving on to NXT. NXT this week was really good in my opinion. It started off with the Undisputed Era coming out without Adam Cole, obviously, and delivering a pretty decent promo. I was going to say it was Bobby Fish. No, it was why am I blanking on names? Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly delivered this promo, and in it there was a point where he said, "We are going to run this business for a very long time," which makes me think that they're going to split up soon. Because I hope so. Why would you not want them to split up?
Because they need to have a main roster run together first.
No, the way I see it is they're kind of booking Kyle O'Reilly to go face while they're kind of booking Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong to turn heel. And that's where they separate them. And I think that's absolutely fine.
I just don't want to see them separated yet. I think they got so much potential on the main roster first.
I just...
Like, would it be crazy to say, like, they've won every title in NXT at the same time and been that stable? They all had the titles together. Wouldn't that not make sense to do that in the main roster too?
No. And the reason why you can't really do it on the main roster is because of the booking that's going on the main roster. I think you can't put them there in general. If you move them off of NXT, it takes away too much from NXT and gives nothing to WWE because they're not going to utilize them properly. They're just not.
I do agree with that they might, F them up when they go up there. The one thing I'm going to say, though, is that a group like that, with that much star potential and that much crowd pop, changes your booking. Like, it just does. So...
I don't know. I think you can always do it later. Like, you can split them up now, have them keep doing their NXT stuff. Like, you can make Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong stay as a tag team in NXT. They're good together, just them two. They can compete. They can still stay in title pictures or whatever. Kyle O'Reilly, as we saw, can 100% hold his own in singles matches. Rest in peace, Finn Balor's jaw. But, and then Adam Cole, obviously Adam Cole can do singles matches. Very successfully.
Remember when they had all the championships? It was Adam Cole was NXT champ.
Yep.
Roderick was North American, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were tagged. I think if they go to the main roster, it should be it should still be Adam Cole world champ, but it should be Kyle O'Reilly being U.S. champ or Intercontinental champ, and then it should be the other two tag team, Roderick and Bobby. But I've wanted this group to be the best group that WWE has ever produced, and the way that they're booking them in NXT makes me just think that can be possible. But
see, I'm looking at.
Are they only going to get called up when Vince stops booking? Is the question.
I think that's the right way to do it. Yeah.
So if that's the case, then we have to wait.
Cause look at all the factions that WWE has had in the past couple of years, and tell me how big and successful they were and how impactful they still are today. None of them are. Not a single one of them.
I would say New Day.
That's not really a faction, though. That's more of a tag team.
So you were like for 4 people or more, you mean?
Yeah.
That's likely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
look at how.
This is still way too early to tell.
Yeah, but look, even then, look at how they're booking the Hurt Business. They're not having these super high-profile matches. They have one champion, which is Bobby, and even then, he doesn't look super strong. He won it off of Apollo Crews, which isn't a huge victory, and his only defense is to Apollo Crews as well. So, if that's what they're gonna do with Undisputed Era, that's absolutely not what I want to see. I don't want to see Adam Cole come in, win the title from Drew McIntyre, and then Kyle O'Reilly has a match against Bobby Lashley for the title.
Yeah, now is not a good time. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
To think that they don't have a main roster run as that powerful group kind of upsets me.
No, but that's the thing. I think you can still have that main title run as a powerful roster later on. I don't think it has to be now. I think now is not the time for it, but eventually that time will come.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Do you think that Survivor Series is going to include NXT this year again?
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be fun.
Last year was good.
What would it be right now? It'd be Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor.
That'd be great. Finn Balor is always the underdog in his matches, and here he is really the underdog, but I think it makes a really good story.
And you know who's going to win that match.
Roman. Yeah. Which is fine. I don't mind that. I have no problem with that.
Because let's be real, Roman is the only one out of the 3 right now that just needs to win everything.
Which is fine. Again, I have no problem with that.
Are we going to AEW?
We're not. That was the first thing of NXT, dude.
So we're going to NXT.
You're rushing things.
Everybody, go ahead.
Shotzi Blackheart had a match with Candice LeRae. I think it was a #1 contenders match. I'm not sure. But the one thing I wanted to note from this match, which first of all, amazing match. But you know the DX tank? Shotzi Blackheart came in like a weird like bumper car that kind of looked like that.
Do you mean the DX tank of like when they invaded WCW, or do you mean
like
when they got to SummerSlam?
Just the tank that they had.
Okay.
Yeah, Shotzi Blackheart came out in this like bumper car thing that looked like a tank. It was really small and it was fucking hilarious. She just like crashed it into the ring, walked out, and got in the ring. It was great. I loved it.
Was Shotzi popular before NXT?
I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. I never followed her before.
To me, if she is, because I haven't followed her before that, if she is actually like a WWE product, that could be like the best WWE product they've had in a while.
Oh, I think she's amazing. I'm really impressed with Shotzi. What? Are you serious? Dabba-Kato's not your favorite wrestler of the 20th century or the 21st century?
You know what's funny about that though? He hasn't wrestled yet.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, the match was good. Candice LeRae ended up winning it. Could have gone either way, in my opinion, but I'm still happy for Candice, which she's going to be facing Io Shirai at Halloween Havoc.
Still not tired of that too.
Yeah.
So.
Next up, there was a whole match for this, but my notes, all I wrote was Toni fucking Storm, because that's all I cared about. I don't even know who she wrestled. I just know that she won, and I'm very happy because I fucking love Toni Storm.
Because NXT has the best fucking women's wrestler. I clearly said that.
Yeah. I'm very happy that she's wrestling again. I'm very happy that she's looking dominant, and bright future for Toni Storm. Very bright future.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
no argument so far.
Yeah. Next up was their kind of funny segment-ish of the show, which was it started off with Drake Maverick and Killian Dane in the back, where Drake Maverick is trying to like pitch ideas for how they would be a tag team, and he's like, oh yeah, okay, so you would be like this big hairy grizzly man, you'd be the furry, and then I would be like the fury, you know, because I'm like angry, and I'm packed full of heat and grr, you know. And then Killian Dane's just sitting down like, no, I don't like any of this is a horrible idea. And then Drake Maverick's like, okay, well, we're going off against Imperium next, and Killian Dane's like, I'm not going out there. So Drake Maverick goes out and wrestles Imperium by himself, loses the match. This other tag team comes out afterwards and is like, what the hell? Your tag team partner didn't even come up? Wow, you're a loser. And then Killian Dane comes out and beats up both of the guys and then drags Maverick back out.
Is this Daniel Bryan and Kane 2.0?
No, because Daniel Bryan could wrestle. Drake Maverick is not supposed to look strong.
I disagree. Drake Maverick can wrestle.
No. He can wrestle, but he's not meant to look strong, is what I meant. Sorry. He's meant to look weak against everyone he goes against. That's the main point of it. He's great in the ring. He can do moves and he can sell great.
Watch those matches in the Cruiserweight tournament.
Yeah.
Drake Maverick.
Yeah. Great performer. But yeah, I think they're setting up a really interesting tag team, because like if they were to have a title match, it would 100% be on Killian Dane to win it. 100%. Doesn't matter who they're against. It's 100% on Killian Dane. But Killian is like so not into the tag match. It's so funny. I love this tag team. I love this segment. Everything is great about it. They're booking it really well.
Makes the angle better.
Yeah, they're booking it really well. So those are all the matches that I want to talk about. Before we move on, though, I do want to talk about the NXT pay-per-view that's coming up in 2 weeks, which is Halloween Havoc. First of all, that's a WCW pay-per-view that they took.
Anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
They have a really interesting gimmick for it, which is called the Spin the Wheel, Make a Deal match. And so the way it works is we're not going to know what kind of match it is until the day of. When the match is about to happen, they're going to spin a wheel, and it's going... It was like the Cyber Sunday
It's
thing.
like that Raw stuff. The Raw stuff, they did that to
Yeah.
the wheel.
So
And
the...
we know it's not weighted.
Could be, could not be, doesn't matter. Either way, it's interesting. But, yeah, so there's going to be 2 of those matches at Halloween Havoc. The first one's going to be Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest. And the second one is Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai. And I'm just gonna list off the stipulations for the matches because I have them here. So there's a boiler room brawl. There's a weapons.
Please.
That would be great. That would be great. I want to see that.
I don't think I've seen one of those since McFoley.
Yeah. There's a weapons wild match. A trick or street fight.
Yeah.
A trick or street?
Trick or street fight. Yeah. Okay. I don't really know what this is. It's a TLS match, not a TLC. I don't know what the S is.
Shards.
I was thinking like stairs. I don't know.
TLC table
Could be
ladder
stairs.
and something else.
Yeah, I don't really know. The next one is a coal miner's glove on a pole match. Yeah,
What?
it's a apparently they.
Is Michael Cole gonna sit on the pole or something? Just be
Maybe.
Like, here, take the glove.
I was really surprised to see this option there. A buried alive match.
Ooh, yes, please. Halloween,
There
scary.
you
A
go.
casket match.
Undertaker, I'm
Ooh.
not interested.
What? Nah, dude, those would be great. A biker's chain match.
Baker's chain.
Yeah.
Biker's chain match.
a-
What?
Chamber of Horrors match. I really don't know what that is.
So what you're telling me right now is I gotta watch this.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, 100%. I put weapons wild twice. Oh, a blindfolded match. Those
Oh, I
are
don't want to see that.
those are pretty bad. And the last
What?
one's another one I don't know about. It's a Devil's Playground match.
Well,
which-
the devil was Kane. Yeah. Kane had a match like that.
Well, they usually call Hell in a Cell the Devil's Playground.
Yeah. But why would they change it?
Yeah,
Why
I know.
wouldn't it just be Hell in a
I
Cell?
don't think it'll be Hell in a
Gotta
Cell.
be Something on
Yeah, I don't know. And then
Makes
there's
me intrigued now. I don't know what those matches are.
I'm really hoping for Buried Alive match. That's the one I'm really hoping for. Yeah. And oh, there's also one more option, which I don't know why it's this, but it's called Shotzi's Choice, in which Shotzi Blackheart gets to choose the stipulation.
All the stipulations on the wheel.
That'd be
Every
great.
single one.
That would be great. A Buried Alive, Boiler Room, Weapons, Wild, Trick or Street, TLS, Coal Miner's Glove on a Pole, Casket, Biker's Chain, Chamber of Horrors, Blindfolded Devil's Playground match. That's the ultimate wrestling match.
It would literally just be like that whole match, but like Michael Cole just sitting on a pole. You have to get the glove. And that's how it is.
Yeah, and then there's one more match announced for Halloween Havoc that's not a spin a wheel match. It's just Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez again, which is sure to be another good match.
That's one of those matches where it's like not for the title, but the company believes in it so much that
Yeah.
it's going to be good regardless.
So, we're done with NXT. Zach, on to All Elite Wrestling.
All Elite. So they had a huge roster. They had a huge show last night where 4 titles were on the line. John Moxley, formerly known as Dino Ambroso, retains the belt on Lance Archer. winning in the backslide, which was kind of unexpected, but the way the match was going, I think it made sense for that to Jon Moxley to win because Lance Archer is huge. After the match, Pentagon and Rey Fenix attacked Mr. Moxley, and then came Eddie Kingston and literally didn't fool anyone. He lifted Moxley's hand just to attack the shit out of him and then put him in a submission hold, and that's how the show finished. So I am so much more into Eddie Kingston right now than I think I've ever been into anybody All Elite until, well, I shouldn't say that, but he's taking his advantages right now. And he doesn't look like your typical wrestler, but as soon as he gets on the mic and starts wrestling, I tell you, he can bring it like anybody else.
Is Eddie Kingston... Yeah, is he the love child of Eddie Guerrero and Kofi Kingston?
No, actually.
Oh.
He's the love child of the Boiler Room Brawler and Kofi, the coffee guy, Kingston.
I see.
So no, but like seriously, the next AEW pay-per-view is coming up, and if it's not Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley, I'd be pretty upset because he's just taking advantage of everything right now. The other match that was there was Cody versus Orange Cassidy, which we were all kind of looking forward to. Here's how the match finished, Alex. You might be a little disappointed.
Okay.
The time ran out.
What?
You know how every AEW match they have a time limit?
No, I never knew that.
Every AEW match actually has a time limit, and they announce the time limit before the match starts. And the Orange hit his finisher. Then he went for an innovative pin, and the time ran out. And right before the ref was about to count to 3, the bell rung.
Oh,
wow!
That's actually sick. I like that.
It was kind of good at the same time, but it's kind of interesting booking. I don't know. I have to wait and see. But there was one person watching the match, and it looks like he might be the next challenger. And it's Cody versus Darby Allin, baby.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Mr. Coffin Drop, Mr. No Fear, Mr.
He's so cool.
Killer.
He's so goddamn cool.
For that, for sure. The girls' match of Hiroki Shida and Big Swole.
Big Swole.
Big Swole did not win the championship, unfortunately.
Absolutely disappointing. Cancel AEW.
And FTR had their tag team match as well with, I believe it was the Best Friends. And FTR wins again, man. And, like,
good.
To me, looking at FTR wrestle right now, looking how they used them in WWE, like, FTR, man, is... If you want a clinic on how to tag team wrestle, just watch an FTR match. Doesn't matter who it's against, they will give you everything. And they're the perfect heel tag team. Like, I can't see a flaw in their matches. I really can't. If you watch the whole match from start to finish, they just put on a clinic. And not just, like, put on a regular clinic. They do heelish things that you, like, how did they think of that so fast? Or, you know, it feels like they go off script just to make it better.
Right.
Which is insane. Yeah, so the booking is still really good on AEW, and, like, if you got a chance to check it out, give it up. And I don't know if they're setting up. I didn't get the chance to watch. MJF and Chris Jericho were apparently having a promo kind of thing where I don't know if MJF was hinting that he was going to join the Inner Circle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if it's Chris Jericho versus MJF, I'm all in.
Fair enough.
That was the AEW update.
all right. On to our very first TNA segment.
Yeah, you did not tell me anything, me or Pat, anything about this TNA. This is all you, buddy. Go for it.
Yeah, so unlike how we've been doing like WWE and AEW, I'm not going to be going over specific matches. What I wanted to bring out here is I find that from what I have watched from TNA in the past couple of months, TNA's actual booking quality and match quality has been much higher than WWE. which should not be happening.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, absolutely. I just lost my notes. What? Okay, no, we're here. So
The first TNA segment we do, you lost your note. Sorry.
yeah,
Please
so
go ahead.
obviously, as any wrestling company, there's always going to be some things you disagree with, which for me is Ken Shamrock.
How old is he now?
Like at least in his late 50s. Yeah, I don't know. He still has a really oddly ripped body, but it's just
Rob Van Dam still there?
Okay, don't even get me started on Rob Van Dam. He's the way they're booking him is so bad. Yeah.
Didn't he dance with like a 23-year-old girl or something like that?
Yeah, the angle is they're like in a relationship together, and she's just like this super plastic surgery woman. Like nothing about her is real. Like
Like Sable or something?
Oh, much worse. Holy shit, dude. Not even like Sable was all natural compared to this girl.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's bad. Like sometimes I'm scared that this girl's ass is gonna deflate mid matches. Like it's pretty shit. But
Get to the good stuff.
yeah. Enough of the bad stuff. So the way that they work with pushing their talent is, first of all, when they recruit people that have been dropped off from WWE or other indie circuits and stuff like that, as soon as they get into the company, they're instantly pushed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's, we want to make sure that our superstars coming into this company are superstars and that they're being booked to their strengths. Like, if you're good in the ring, we're going to make sure that you have great matches. If you're good on the mic, we're going to put you on the mic, give you good promos. If you're good at both, great. Title picture. Right? Right now, their world champion... What's that?
Go ahead. Sorry. You literally just said what I was going to ask.
Oh, yeah. Their world champion right now, Eric Young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, like, the way that they're talking about him on the mic is they're basically talking about him as... Because he used to be in TNA, and then he went to NXT, and then WWE, and then back to TNA, right? And the way...
Yeah, fucking brushed his shoes at the WWE door and left.
He's been in TNA not too long, like, since coming back, I mean. Not too long. He's already champion. He's already had a bunch of really good matches. He's currently feuding with someone who I don't think should be wrestling, Rich Swann. We won't talk about him and what he's done and stuff like that, but anyways, they're putting on really good matches. And yeah, Eric Young is playing to his strengths, which is his character of being this like bizarre, creepy guy, but he's really good in the ring, really entertaining. What's that?
He's Canadian, right, Eric Young?
I don't know, actually. Maybe.
I think he is.
And then their women's champion right now is Deonna Purrazzo, who was also in NXT.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so as soon as she joined, she beat the top person in that company and instantly became champion. And she's been doing great work in that company. Their X Division champion, which is like their mid-card champion, is this guy called Rohit Raju. You know, I don't know much about him. He's not like this super big guy. He's not this super over in the indies guy, yet they're still pushing him because he's really good talent and he proved himself well in this company, which is good to see that they're willing to do something like that. And then their current tag team champions are the Motor City Machine Guns, which is again an old tag team that just came back to TNA, which means that they're willing to show
Anderson versus those two.
I think so, because I know again Gallows and Anderson are in TNA now, which is good for them because they're being pushed. I'd love to see AJ back in. I'd absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I mean, if AJ leaves WWE and still wants to wrestle, I think that's where he goes.
Styles. Said AJ Lee.
Oh, fuck.
AJ Lee to come back.
AJ Lee.
If AJ Lee comes back anywhere with no crowd, there's still going to be CM Punk chants.
Yeah, that's true. I could see her coming back to. I could see her coming to TNA. TNA has a really strong women's division too, which I was going to talk about after, or right now actually. So I'm just going to list off a couple names of people who are in the males roster first. Brian Myers, which is Kurt Hawkins. They're pushing him well. Eddie Edwards. I don't know if you know who that is. He kind of looks like Evan Bourne, but a little bit more jacked. I
think I know who he is.
In ring, he kind of reminds me of... I was gonna say like a Dean Ambrose. Not Moxley, but Dean Ambrose. He kind of reminds me of like a Dean Ambrose kind of character. Sort of, but not really. Not as unhinged.
I've seen him as a few matches here and there.
Yeah, he's not as unhinged, but he's really good. They have a guy called Madman Fulton, which looks almost identical to Lance Archer, but just not as cool.
Lance Archer's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and then like they have TJP, which again another person who was not utilized by WWE properly, and one of the flashiest guys ever to be in TNA, Suicide. I don't know if you know who that is.
Is he still there?
He just came back after not being there for a while, but he's doing really good things. Yeah, and then the women's division, they have so much diversity when it comes to the actual characters in them. So like they have just your general people like Deonna Purrazzo, who's champion right now. They have this person called Jordan Grace, who's essentially... What's the best comparison to WWE with that? I guess if you go with males, Jordan Grace is kind of like a Keith Lee.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, you're gonna make me watch TNA now.
Dude, TNA is really good, dude. Jordan Grace is amazing in the ring. And then they have like really weird characters, like they have Su Yung, who's basically just this Asian horror movie character. Very yeah, like it's very like Grudge-esque. Like that's basically what she reminds you of. Then there's Rosemary, who's basically like a female... I don't want to say female Undertaker,
Rosemary.
but she's this...
I've heard of Rosemary, though.
Yeah, she's supposed to be this like demonic assassin character, which is really cool for a female character. We don't see those.
Talking about TNA like a kid would talk about watching wrestling for the first time.
Yeah, but like that's how it makes you feel though, which is great because I don't get that from WWE. And then there's
That's fair. That's very fair.
And then I think you know who this is, Kylie Ray. She was big in the indies.
That's the smile.
Yeah, it's basically like Face Bailey 2.0. But yeah, they're using all of these people incredibly well. All of them have great storylines. All of them are great in the ring, and it's making me think that maybe we should be watching more TNA.
I watch AEW, so you can do TNA.
Absolutely,
top the WWE stuff a little bit.
I am down to watch more TNA. Absolutely.
Is it time?
Zach, it is time. Patty, it is time.
I think it is time
for our bad booking segment, which
ooh, I think I know what it is.
This week's bad booking segment is surprise, surprise. The one thing we didn't talk about, the WWE draft.
I thought it was hard enough to not talk about it because that was like the main thing on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
So,
Pat, let's just listen up. Alex is going to go off here.
Yeah, so before we really get into it, I'm just going to basically list off the draft in order of how it happened. So, the draft was split into two different nights. Night one, it started with rounds being 5 picks each. So, Drew McIntyre is going to Raw, or staying on Raw. Roman Reigns to SmackDown. Asuka to Raw. Seth Rollins to SmackDown. And Hurt Business to Raw. Now, all of these made sense as being... What's that?
Seth Rollins was like the surprising one a little bit.
A little bit, but
Yeah,
like
he was. I think he was the only.
it's surprising that he's going to SmackDown, but it's not surprising that he's one of the first 5.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
I think they picked their first 5 correctly. I think this is the only part of the draft that I can't really give them bad credit for. It made sense. I would have done the same in their position. Maybe not
Yeah,
Hurt
should've
Business.
Tits up.
All right. Then we go to round 2, with AJ Styles to Raw. Okay. And then we kick off with something a little shocking to me, which was Sasha Banks to SmackDown. Now, makes sense that Sasha Banks would stay on SmackDown, but why are you drafting her before the person she's feuding against, which is the champion of that brand?
Oh, no,
I was wondering, but I think it's because she wasn't allowed to be picked until Monday night's episode.
That's what it is.
Wait,
She
really?
wasn't in those people, like
There
in
were
the
two different
wrestlers.
pools. There was 2 different pools.
Yeah, there's 2 different pools.
What was the point
I
of the
was wondering, too,
pools?
I was like,
To
Just
make it make sense that the first night that those people in that pool were going to be drafted where they were going, and the second night it was the same thing. Doesn't make any sense. It's basically
Yeah.
it's basically like
it
having
should
an
be one
NHL
big
draft
pool
and like
and
having all of the half of the top players go in the 3rd round. It just
But
doesn't make
even
sense.
then, why would you not put Bailey in that pool and Sasha in the next?
Because see,
You're
if
not
you would've
drafting your-
flip-flopped both of them, it would have made sense. Like if you would have put Bailey on SmackDown on the first night,
Yeah.
she would have been 3rd pick behind Roman and Seth, which would have made sense.
Hmm.
And the second night, it was I think Bailey went 4th. I think, right?
Bailey was
something
round...
like that, I think. It was,
Holy shit, where the fuck is Bailey? Bailey
Bailey
was
was
round 1. She was the first pick of SmackDown for round 1. Of
Yeah, so
night 2.
If you're really like getting into the nitty gritty, if Sasha Banks was on the board, and you would have had like I would see Sasha Banks being picked 2nd overall. I'm not really surprised.
Sure, but it's just the fact that they're not drafting their champions early. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But
Well, the
we'll get
shocking
more
one
into
for
that.
me was Sami
Yeah,
Zayn.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So where are we at? Sasha Banks to SmackDown, Naomi to Raw, which is weird to prioritize Naomi this early, I find, because she hasn't
I
been doing
know.
anything on
no,
TV.
It just doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all.
Then Bianca Belair to SmackDown, which again hasn't been doing anything on TV. And then Nia Jax, yeah. Then Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler to Raw, which another champion. Okay. Round
But
3.
they're champion on both brands.
Yeah, but
And they're champions on both. Like they're no matter what, they're gonna have to fight on both brands. So I mean, like there's no point.
yeah, I don't know. It's because they're eventually gonna split, and they just want them on Raw individually. So that's what it is. But
I
whatever.
guess so.
It's kind of dumb. Round 3, we had Ricochet to Raw, Jey Uso, not the Usos, just Jey Uso to SmackDown, Mandy Rose to Raw, both Mysterios to SmackDown, and then Miz and Morrison to Raw.
The worst one right there. Mandy Rose was picked before the Mysterios. Are
Yeah.
you fucking kidding me?
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
Don't even think of it like as a business point of view. Just think of it as pure wrestling. That's the worst pick ever. And then you think of the business part of it, and you're like,
Yeah.
dude, Dominic's 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Prospect,
already
like literally the biggest like thing, and then he goes and
the best luchador ever.
Mhm.
Rey Mysterio, and they're getting drafted after Raw, and you want us to believe it's a draft?
I don't understand what their thought process is around any of this. It just doesn't make sense. Then round 4 is the round that made me really angry. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods to Raw. Big E to SmackDown. Big slap in the face to any fan. Right there.
Dude, Kofi Woods, the Mysterios went after Mandy Rose. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Then you got Dana Brooke to Raw. Otis on SmackDown. And Angel Garza to Raw.
How Angel Garza didn't get picked after Dana
Yeah.
and like Otis.
Yeah. Your Money in the Bank winner is being picked after Dana Zach.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
How bad is that?
Tucker got drafted by SmackDown.
Yeah, round 5.
There's another breakup.
Round 5.
Tucker's on Raw.
Yeah, Tucker's on Raw. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, flip flop. Yeah.
Round 5, you got.
Tag team.
Yep. Round 5, you got Humberto to Raw, Murphy to SmackDown, which they stopped calling him Buddy Murphy. It's just Murphy now.
Yeah, then wasn't there like an argument like 2 years ago they were just calling him Buddy?
Maybe, I don't know. Drew Gulak to Raw, Kalisto to SmackDown, and then Tucker to Raw. Why are they splitting Otis and Tucker? Like,
They want to fire Tucker.
maybe, I don't know.
Why though? Like, what are you gonna do with Otis?
Yeah.
You literally can't do nothing with Otis.
He's
After he loses
Can't
that
do
Money in
nothing
the
with
Bank.
Otis, and he's got Money in the Bank. So, and here's the thing. Here's where they fucked up royally. Otis cashing in on Roman Reigns would never happen in real life. Never,
Here's
ever,
the thing.
ever.
Everybody thought they were gonna go after the tag team champs. They were gonna cash it on the tag team champs.
Yeah.
And like that's what like I thought.
Mm.
But then they split them up. Like you can't literally put Otis, because I know Vince loves Otis for some reason. Well, he's a funny guy. Like yes, I get it. But like from a wrestling perspective, you can't have Otis as a singles competitor. You're not going to go anywhere. He's either going to just get put into the ground where he's just going to be a guy that loses every time, or he's just going to get released. So, I mean...
It's kind of in the Zack Ryder spot where Zack Ryder wins a belt and then loses it the next night.
Yeah, so, I mean... Up another tag team, your tag team division gets even worse, and then there you go. That's the plan.
You didn't like you said Otis and Tucker right away. You didn't even think about the New Day was just broken up like right before that.
Oh yeah, obviously I know that.
Like, dude, how many times have we said on this damn podcast that they don't have enough tag teams, and like, okay, they kept Kofi and Xavier together, fine, but is that the full strength of the New Day? Absolutely not. This is a way, and I think Alex, you said this already. This is a way of getting entertainment value in the cheapest way you could have.
Yeah, definitely. It's just trying to stretch out what you can out of it, which is not the right thing to do, I think, because they're just they're so entertaining together. There's too much value out of them being together to split them up.
We were literally the one group that was like they're never gonna break up.
Yeah.
Why would they ever even break up?
You can't do it. Especially they broke them up in the only way that they kind of could have. And I don't like it, but it's the only way that makes sense because of the fact that, you know, they have their YouTube channel together and stuff like that, and if it just doesn't make sense for that to break them up, but whatever. It doesn't
make sense.
That was night 1 of the draft. On to
Which
night...
one was worse, night 1 or night 2?
Night 1.
Night 2. In my opinion, night 2.
Alright, let's go.
Okay. Before I get into night 2, the one thing I don't understand, night 1 had 5 rounds of draft, night 2 had 7. Why couldn't she do 6 and 6?
Raw is bigger than SmackDown.
Yeah, Raw has a 3-hour show and SmackDown has a 2-hour show.
Yeah, but it's still I guess it still ends up being the same though.
This is WWE.
That's a good one, Pat.
Yeah, that's true. All right, night
WWE,
2 of the draft. Round 1 starts off with The Fiend to Raw, Bayley to SmackDown, Randy Orton to Raw, Street Profits to SmackDown, and then what came to as a shock to me, Charlotte Flair to Raw.
Oh, come on now.
No, it came as a shock because I didn't see her name being on the list. Like I wasn't expecting her to be drafted.
That's fair, but if you look,
no, it's Flair.
To me, I was shocked that she. Fuck you. To me, though, like, I don't know. Would you guys pick the Street Profits over Charlotte?
No.
Wouldn't.
Absolutely not. But like, they're not gonna.
Charlotte's the best.
No, but I mean,
it's you can't have 2 champions.
There you go. That's my answer. There you go. Again,
Yeah.
WWE.
The legitimacy of like Charlotte Flair, like, come on, she's the best women's wrestler they've ever had.
It's just because Street Profits are champion and they already had champion on their brand. You can't have two pairs of tag team champions on their brand.
But listen, like, to me, a draft has to be legitimate, and just the fact that Mandy Rose was before the Mysterios.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, I don't have a problem with that first round at all. I really don't. Like, they're all like legitimate high tier wrestlers. Like, all of them are at the top of their game. So I don't have a problem with that first round. I mean, maybe they drafted Charlotte Flair there just because of the injury or something, like just to make up something stupid. But I mean, I don't have a problem with that first round at all. I don't.
Yeah, I think Charlotte's coming back though. Like, that's the thing. With her being drafted, there's no way she's not coming back soon.
The logical way, though, of the Raw picks, that would have been my order, probably. Fiend, Orton, Flair.
Yeah, definitely. On to round 2, which was Braun Strowman to Raw, Daniel Bryan to SmackDown, Matt Riddle to Raw, Kevin Owens to SmackDown, and then Jeff Hardy on Raw.
Kevin Owens behind Matt Riddle?
Yeah. I thought Matt Riddle was going to be a lot, like, lower on that.
I mean, no offense to Matt Riddle. Kevin Owens is a world champ, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah, Matt Riddle hasn't done anything other than wrestle Corbin.
Had a shot at the... Wasn't it against AJ or something? He wrestled for the...
Yeah.
Continental Championship and then lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the idea here is, I guess, but whatever. You do you, boo-boo. Round 3 started off... Okay, this is where it really pissed me off. Round 3 started off with Retribution to Raw. So, my big problem with this is the way that Retribution started out is them attacking WWE personnel, attacking the Performance Center, going backstage and destroying the company and the stuff. Yet now they have a contract and they're being drafted onto the brand?
That's what frustrated me, was like their first promo were like, oh, we bullied the WWE in the contract. It's like, no, you didn't fucking...
Yeah.
You're just a group that destroyed shit. Why the hell are you bullying WWE for contracts? You obviously don't want to be contracted by WWE if you're fucking breaking everything.
Yeah,
like, they should undrafted and just attack both shows.
You mean to tell me that these contracted NXT superstars bullied their way to a WWE contract?
And they got them good.
Like, it was literally like they went to Raw and then they were on both brands, and then out of nowhere they just stopped being on SmackDown. They were just like, nah, we're gonna just go after Raw.
And now they're not even on Raw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because they didn't even show.
Like, let's fucking draft this group that's gonna destroy. You know.
Now, Zach.
Yeah.
The pick right after Retribution: Lars Sullivan to SmackDown. Zach, Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, has not been drafted yet, and Lars Sullivan has just been drafted.
Imagine how pissed Zach would be if Lars Sullivan won the Intercontinental Championship.
Don't say it too much. You're gonna speak it into existence.
Yeah, really.
Zach, there are so many wrestlers. I'm looking at the list of people who still have to be drafted. There are so many of these people. So many of them. Wait, let me count how many people I would draft before him. Oh, wait, that's all of them. Zach, I don't understand this. Like...
No, like...
Is he sucking Vince's dick? I don't get it. Like, what's the special treatment for?
Those teeth on him?
Yeah.
I mean, listen. It's clearly staged, alright? We know it's staged.
But, I mean...
Like, can you make it legitimate? Is that so hard?
I guess so.
Like, is that so hard? Like, do you think that we're that dumb? Like... If I line up 25 people right now that watch wrestling on a daily basis, they will all pick Sami Zayn before Lars Sullivan.
Yep.
All of them would.
Yep.
And if you don't, then you're seeing something in Lars Sullivan that nobody else is seeing.
All right. So, as I keep going, every name I list, just keep in mind they were drafted after Lars Sullivan. Okay, keep that in mind. Next up, Keith Lee.
Oh my god, I totally forgot.
Keith Lee was drafted after Lars Sullivan.
I would have actually liked to have Keith Lee on SmackDown more than on Raw.
Yeah.
On Raw, he's going to be stuck wrestling Braun Strowman and those big guys.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking put him to SmackDown.
Which he is wrestling Braun next week, so.
Honestly,
Yeah, but make him wrestle like a Kevin Owens or I don't know, Sami Zayn or something like that. I mean, I'm much happier to watch that than him facing off against the big guys.
I'd love to see Keith Lee in the U.S. title. I don't know why I can just see
Yeah.
the U.S. title.
Put him against Bobby.
I would see that hands down. That'd be a great match.
Vince put all his bigger guys on Raw, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks off Raw, so I mean.
Next up, King Corbin to SmackDown. I don't really care about that one.
Sami Zayn.
Yeah. And then Alexa Bliss to Raw. Which
Before Alexa Bliss.
I
There you go.
Yeah. Lars Sullivan was drafted before this super hot Alexa Bliss. Like, she's so in with the fans right now. She is huge in that company right now with The Fiend. And she was drafted last pick of round 3 after Lars Sullivan.
No, can we just say that Lars Sullivan got drafted in round 3? Like
the worst round 3 in all of sports.
Yeah.
King Corbin and Lars Sullivan in round 3.
Yeah.
Corbin pisses me off. I'm sorry. He's
Yeah.
He pisses me off.
overused.
He pisses everyone off.
Overused. Please, can we have the King of the Ring thing back so he can lose? Like, please. Like, I would love. Just, I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I would just love for that gimmick to leave.
Nah, don't jinx it. It'll be Lars.
You know what? Because you know what? If he is the King of the Ring,
King Sullivan.
he might get released anyway. So I mean,
You're right.
I don't know. King Corbin ain't getting released, so.
We go over the rest of the draft picks that piss us off more.
Sure. Round 4, Elias to Raw. Finally, Sami Zayn to SmackDown. Round 4, the Intercontinental Champion.
Dude, that's like if a top 5 pick went in the 4th round because people forgot.
No. 4th round of the second night, first of all. That's... Ugh.
Yeah, but that's... Again,
I know, but fuck the pools. Fuck the pools. It's stupid.
Fair enough.
Alright, after that was Lacey Evans to Raw. Followed by Cesaro and Shinsuke to SmackDown. And Sheamus to Raw.
Cesaro got drafted.
Pretty late, yeah.
This is great, man. I love the WWE. It's so good.
Oh yeah, great drafting. Great booking. That was round 4.
Ugh.
On to round 5. We've got Nikki Cross going to Raw. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode to SmackDown. R-Truth to Raw. Apollo Crews to SmackDown. You know, the guy who was just US champ is round 5 pick. And finally, the great Dabba-Kato drafted to Raw.
I thought you were going to say Khali for a second.
No, the great
Khali makes a comeback.
Oh yes, I would. Nah, the great Dabba-Kato makes his comeback, or not his comeback, makes his debut on a brand and not on Raw Underground.
Thank God.
On to round 6, where we've got Titus O'Neil to Raw, Carmella to SmackDown.
It's still in WWE?
Peyton Royce to Raw.
Underground, that one episode?
Now Zach, this is round 6. Aleister Black to SmackDown. Zach?
That's why you're mad.
Zach?
That's why you're mad. Oh my god.
I am going bald because of this fucking company, okay?
Dude, you got
Aleister Black.
pretty bald, so...
He was drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people after Lars Sullivan. Imagine.
Yeah, he was the last pick
on the same
in
brand.
Or he was the second last pick in
On the same brand. Imagine being faced with Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black and being like, you could pick both, but you have to prioritize one of them, and going, oh yeah, Lars Sullivan, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, let's take the guy that didn't give us anything in NXT.
Zach, what is...
Remember, isn't that a match, Lars Sullivan versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship? And didn't Lars, like, miss the Black Mass? Like, Aleister hit it, and then Lars just, like, it clearly missed him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. But, like, Zach... What does Vince have against Aleister Black? Like, did Aleister do something?
He just doesn't know him, dude. Like, Vince...
He's not 7 foot and 300 pounds, that's why.
Yeah, that's entirely it.
Alex, there's no argument here. This is obviously bad booking.
And then, last pick of round 6 was Akira Tozawa to Raw. Then we finally got the last round of the draft, which is round 7, Lana to Raw, Natalya to SmackDown, Riddick Moss to Raw, Riot Squad to SmackDown, and the only NXT call-up, Arturo Ruas to Raw?
Oh, he was in Raw Underground already, wasn't he?
Yes, but technically he was affiliated with NXT.
But just like that round, like Lana and Natalya, I would not take over fucking the Riot.
That was on Raw Talk. It wasn't even on TV. Like, they did it on Raw Talk.
Yeah.
After the show, they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way." Like,
here's what I didn't like about the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it seem like all the SmackDown feuds and the Raw feuds just got switched?
Yeah. Do you know what?
The Mysterio and things are going to SmackDown now.
Do you know
is going to, like, I feel like all the Raw angles they had, they just moved them to SmackDown.
See, as much as
tag team just switched.
Yeah.
Yep.
As
that
much
was
as
funny though, I didn't expect that.
Which one?
That one I didn't expect. Where the tag team champions just switched.
Oh yeah, that was okay. That was kind of cool.
Okay.
In the show, they were just like, yeah, now you have to, like, I forget what the guy's name was. He's like, yeah, by the way, you have to switch belts now. And then they were just like, oh. They just like the belts, and it was right awkward. Like,
Patricia.
Yeah, he named his title Patricia.
Yeah.
I really want, if New Day loses the belt, I really want Xavier to just scream Patricia.
Okay.
Alex, no debate on this. This was obviously bad booking.
Oh, I'm not even done.
8 episodes in a row.
Oh, I'm not done with this.
I'm done.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, as much as all of that was bad for the booking and stuff, I want to list off all of these free agents that weren't drafted, but that are still part of WWE.
Can you guess who the first one is?
Go ahead.
Andrade.
He wasn't the first one that was listed there, but he is on the list.
He was the first one you would think of, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically this list isn't in order. I took it off of Wikipedia has a list of the drafts and all of the free agents, so I just took that and put that in that same order that was there. So,
go ahead.
Let me start listing these off. Shorty G.
Got drafted, though.
Nope.
Yeah, he's on SmackDown. He got drafted to SmackDown.
When? He wasn't on the draft.
It was between the shows.
Okay.
You can Google it if you want. I'm sure I saw that.
According to Wiki, like, I checked, like, today. Like, I made this today. According to Wikipedia, he's a free. Okay.
If I know Wikipedia is Wikipedia, but
Lucha House Party. Obviously, Kalisto got drafted, but the other two guys.
He got drafted to Raw right before the Raw show.
What the fuck? Where is this coming from?
I was watching the live stream of like the 3 bump guys.
Yeah.
And they interviewed the Lucha House Party, and
Okay.
Kalisto was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on SmackDown," and the rest of the House Party was just like, "What the fuck?" And then all of a sudden, it was like breaking news: the 2 other guys got drafted to Raw.
Oh, Billy Kay.
She did get drafted.
She did not get drafted. Eric and
She did to
Ivar.
SmackDown. Eric was drafted to Raw.
I'm filing a complaint against Wikipedia. I'm filing a complaint.
Keep going. I'll tell you if they get drafted or not.
Tamina.
SmackDown.
Zelina Vega.
She was drafted. I think it was Raw, but I'm not sure.
Andrade was not drafted.
It was not drafted.
Which is really weird. I don't know why he wasn't drafted if he was literally on the last Raw.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Becky Lynch.
He could just come over with Charlotte.
Yeah, Becky Lynch wasn't
well,
drafted.
Becky Lynch kind of makes sense, I guess. But
Sure,
yeah, I agree.
but Jimmy Uso.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it would have been the Usos, but
Yeah, Jimmy Uso was just not
he's
drafted.
hurt, and then he's just gonna be a free agent and then come back and be on the same brand as his brother. So
Yeah.
And finally, Mickey James.
Yeah, Mickey James was the one that was surprised.
Yeah,
Mickey James.
maybe
Steve,
maybe
we're
she's
pushing her.
done.
I hope not.
And
I
she'll
don't know.
come back in a couple of years and say that she's back.
She deserves a nice last match.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
but yeah, all of these people, like, I don't know, WWE's draft made it seem like, oh Jesus, sorry, I had a burp there. That's the tater tot speaking. Yeah, the way that it made it seem like they were drafting was not to make brands seem better or anything like that, but almost like a popularity thing, like saying like, ah yes, these are guys that are really big. We put them on the main brand, which is Raw. These guys, these are
Raw's
yeah.
roster looks better.
These are smaller guys. These are guys that we don't want to push as much on Raw because they can't compete with the big guys. We put them on SmackDown. This is how we make our rosters. I'm Vince McMahon. I approve this message. Like, this is not smart booking. This is not gonna go over with the fans. This is not gonna go over with the talent. This is not gonna be good in the long term. I feel like story-wise, none of this makes sense.
Because to me, like, the WWE draft is an opportunity to see other people work together. If you're gonna just move people, the feuds from show to show, don't even bother. Like, like to me, the WWE draft has so much like power in getting people to view it that they should be doing way better than that.
Like the draft, you want to see something different in the draft. Like you want that random thing to happen, so we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean.
I was expecting
that's the fun part about the draft.
I was expecting like a really good NXT call up, and we didn't get that.
I would have loved Dexter Loomis.
Yes, but
I know you guys haven't seen Dexter Loomis yet, but
I did watch a match. He did a match.
Didn't he? Or last week?
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't he wrestle Priest last week or something? Yeah, I watched that match. It was really good.
I really like that character too.
I love his intro, or like his music and stuff like that, and the images and stuff. It's really cool. He's a really cool character.
100%.
But yeah, there was no NXT call-ups. Like, what? I don't understand that. Are they just gonna randomly call up people in the middle of the year? Like, this is what the draft is for. Like, this is exactly the right time to call up people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
That booking was very agreeable with you today.
Next week it's on you. Yep, it's your turn, Zach. CTC.
Oh God.
CTC.
Oh, it's creative time. All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna sum it up real quick.
Okay.
5 letters, 8 guys.
Okay. Yes, I got you.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nexus.
Nexus. We I mean, I'm sure we all agree that Nexus was probably one of the best debuts we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Coming to Raw, destroying everything on that set, including the champ.
Mm-hmm.
Literally had people, bombs in the crowd, like wanting to get at the NXT guys because of the carnage that they created. And then, not that it fell flat, but the whole Cena angle and the whole Nexus angle kind of dropped. Like, there was no big payoff. Like, the SummerSlam match, they've clearly fucked that up. Nexus should have won.
Okay.
Then it dwindles and it dwindles and it dwindles.
Let's be fair for that match though. That's John Cena's fault, 100%.
I mean, it's not only on John, because John probably listened to what Vince said, but yes, it's everyone that was there is at fault there. Everyone. Like,
I wouldn't say everyone.
I mean, the only two guys that were said to like be against it were Edge and Jericho.
Yeah.
Totally see.
Yeah.
But like, you look back at that run after that SummerSlam match, they started dwindling and losing members here and there. And then Punk joined. Punk was the leader. And then the WrestleMania match for Nexus was Punk versus Randy Orton. Like, that's not what I wanted to see. I love both wrestlers. And then it dwindles more and it dwindles more, and then all of a sudden Punk goes on this white hot run where he wins the championship over John Cena, Money in the Bank, which we all remember as just the big storyline event happening. But it could have been booked better. And if you look at Nexus, you have 8 guys that are considered kind of rookies. How would you book Nexus? Like, how would you make it work?
Not everything is gonna stay for a long time. Like, you know what I mean? Not everything gonna stick. There's gonna be, especially with Vince as well, right? We don't know. Like, if it was somebody else, I mean, maybe it could have been something 100 times better, or it could have been 100 times worse. You know what I mean? So maybe X's kind of going down was maybe for the better. But I mean, I know I loved it because I remember watching it all the time where, John Cena kind of went through each and every member and kind of just did, his thing. And it kind of turned into the feud of John Cena versus the Nexus. And it wasn't really WWE because they weren't really attacking anybody else but John Cena. And that's probably where they made their mistake, is where they focused on John Cena, which he was one of the biggest stars at the time.
Biggest one.
But I mean, we all knew that in the end John Cena was gonna win. Like, let's be serious. Like, we all knew that John Cena, like, as soon as they attacked John Cena over and over and over again, and then when they said, "Oh, you got fired from the company," and John Cena came to every show because he bought a ticket, and then he jumped in, and then he started started going through every single person in Nexus. Well, and then other superstars started getting into it, and then you're like, well, I mean, is it like, we all know what's gonna happen? It's John Cena's gonna win, and we all know each member is gonna just go down. And
see, here's the potential that they missed, is the fact that, first of all, they didn't stretch it long enough. They made that angle of Cena beating every member should have been like a month and a half before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been, after SummerSlam. Like, that doesn't make sense. To me, what I would have loved to see would be, you build up Nexus versus Cena, and Nexus was white hot, dude. Like, Nexus was the thing. If you make Nexus win at SummerSlam, the 8 versus 8, they stay strong as a group. Or was it 8 versus 8 or 7 versus 7? I think it was 7 versus 7, wasn't it?
No, wasn't it 6 versus 6?
Yeah, Oh, it was 7 versus 7 because Daniel Bryan was on the other team. Remember? He was in like the original Nexus group, and then he got fired
Hold
because
up.
he choked someone.
Cena,
I think it was 7.
Cena, Brett, Daniel, Edge, Jericho.
Kali. Oh, Kali was supposed to be in it, but wasn't.
It was only 6.
It was Cena.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Cena, Jericho, Edge, Morrison, R-Truth.
Oh, Morrison, R-Truth. And Brian. Didn't say
I
Brian.
forgot Morrison and Truth.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan was 7, so yeah.
Okay.
So, take the Nexus win there, okay? And for the next, what's SummerSlam's in August? For the next 4 months, just have everybody of Nexus beat the shit out of John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Like, beat the shit out of him for 4 months. Like, you could have made the whole world pissed off at Nexus because they're fighting this, Cena character. And then, why not make Wade Barrett win the Rumble? He's got 6 other guys that can literally help him shield himself to win the Rumble. Okay? Have the Elimination Chamber match. Have the 6th guy be a special entrant. Make it John Cena. Make it like NXT beat the shit out of Cena for 4 months where he got injured because of it. Make Cena win Elimination Chamber match, win the WWE title, then have Wade Barrett versus John Cena at WrestleMania 1 versus 1, no Nexus, and have that be the match. And you know what? Make Wade Barrett win the WWE Championship. You know what? Make The Miz cash in Monday night on the next night if you're not comfortable for him being champion. Like, to me, there was so much potential in that group.
I think... yeah, I think the one thing is you have to remember that, like, these are NXT guys. The purpose of NXT is to develop talent for your main roster. And you want this talent on your main roster to be big stars. You want them to be able to fit in with the rest of them, and you want them to be able to compete and be able to stay there long term, because that's what you need. You need a long-term plan in the WWE. The way that they booked I was about to say Netflix, Jesus. The way that they booked the Nexus
Netflix
was not to be long-term superstars, which is incredibly wrong. I think you had to make at least each member have some kind of standout moment. Do you remember Michael Tarver? What did he do?
He had the Superman punch before it was cool.
Oh no, he had the Superman punch. You mean the lamest finishing move? I jump up and punch you.
When Roman does it, it kind of looks cool.
When Roman does it, it's different.
Do yourself a favor and go watch Michael Tarver do it.
Yeah. It's like... they had Ryback before he was Ryback, Skip Sheffield, but he wasn't doing anything in Netflix. Jesus Christ, I keep saying Netflix. He wasn't doing anything really in Nexus that made him stand out. Like, the only person from that group who is still in WWE doing anything is Husky Harris, and that's after a complete character change. Okay, yeah, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, but Daniel Bryan kind of left early.
See, that Husky Harris and Michael McGillicuddy should have never been in Nexus. Should have never been there.
I think it was fine to have him. Maybe not Michael, because you kind of want to... You want to bring him in.
Dude, you could make so many stars out of that. 8 guys, like,
yeah.
You could have... Say Daniel Bryan would have been in Nexus the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Would it have been crazy? Because he was the best wrestler. For the 8 guys that were there, Daniel Bryan was the best one for sure.
Yep.
Would it have been crazy that Daniel Bryan would have fought Wade Barrett and it'd be like the mole inside the group and then have them have a pay-per-view match?
That would have been sick.
Title? You could have had that easily.
Mm-hmm.
And then, 2 of those guys, say Gabriel and... Who was the tag team? It was Gabriel and Slater. They won the tag team championships a few times. Have them branch off and be a tag team by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it went to the core and it was like, oh my god, seriously, like
they're just trying to do it all over again. Like they're just trying to
Man, remember Mason Ryan?
Yeah, he was the Braun Strowman to the Wyatt family.
He was supposed to be, and I know it's a lot of people said it was because he looked like him, but he was supposed to be like the next Batista.
Yeah,
and he just flopped. That guy was bad in the ring. He had no charisma, no personality, no mic skills. It was such a tragic bringing into the I was about to say Netflix again. I'm done. I'm not saying it anymore. I am not saying that anymore.
All right, Alex.
Yeah.
Before you kick yourself in the ass for saying Netflix, how would you book it?
I mean, I do agree with stretching it out. You basically have to, instead of attacking people, well, but you have to not make them appear on every show. You have to make it be one of those moments where it's like, we know they're out there, we just don't know when they're gonna strike, or why they're gonna strike, or who they're gonna strike.
Kind of what they did, where they attacked they attacked Vince, they attacked the Undertaker,
yeah,
they attacked Brett, kind of things like that.
Yeah, but like keep it like strictly with that for at least like the first couple of months. You don't go after the big guys like John Cena from the get-go. That's just bad booking. You're starting straight off from the top. That means you have nowhere to go from there. You have no build up. There's nowhere to go but down. Yeah, you need. I mean, sure they had the tag team championships at some point, but like there was no credibility in the tag team division at that point. Who were the tag teams then?
Do you want me to name you one?
I want you to name me one.
Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov.
Exactly. There was no credibility into that tag team championship that they won. So like, whatever championship they had there made no sense. Give them a world title run. Give them like Intercontinental, sure. Give them a US. Give them multiple titles. You have to give them something.
Exactly.
Wade Barrett win an Intercontinental. Oh jeez. Intercontinental champion,
yeah,
and a WWE championship.
Hell,
then you win both.
Make him be in every match on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like that is the ultimate push.
You're the leader of a fucking 8-guy group. Keep demanding getting these championship matches, and if they don't give it to you, just friggin' beat them up. Yeah,
it's the best way. And as Pat said, there's no way that you can keep the Nexus forever. Obviously, eventually, this huge group has to disband, which is fine. There's a time and place to do that. But when it does happen, you have to make sure that the superstars that are in this group are able to find something to do outside of the group. And if not, you can keep some of them together, not as the Nexus, but as their own thing afterwards, right? Like Justin Gabriel and Slater could have been something.
Let's dissect everyone that was there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you have Wade Barrett, who never won a WWE championship, but he could have won one. Let's be real. He could, as a leader of that group, he could have won one.
Sure.
David Otunga, which was he was okay. Would I have seen him as a U.S. champ? It's a stretch a little bit, but there've been a lot of stretches for U.S. champs, so I would have believed it.
The thing with David is they never gave David the time to be on the mic. I don't know if he's good on promos or not. Maybe he is. I just never got to see it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's commentator. Why wouldn't you not give him the chance? Anyways, keep going.
Justin Gabriel could have been a U.S. champ.
Easily.
Champ,
amazing performer.
He was a tag team champ. He could have been. He could have been all of those things. Heath Slater was a tag team champ. He wasn't really a sole guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Heath Slater's career is probably the one that was the most accurate.
Yeah.
All the guys. Ryback. Listen, what I said about Daniel Bryan destroying the shit out of the whole Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
Ryback was fun.
Yeah.
Ryback was white at one point. I know it was his breakup with WWE was horrible, and I don't think he'll ever go there again. But if you look at the time when Ryback was literally the prize of the John Cena versus the Authority thing, dude, Ryback could have been easily beat up Nexus for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Michael Tarver was obviously not the greatest.
Yeah, all he had was strikes. He was a punching guy. That was his thing.
Exactly. There's a reason why he lost very early in NXT as well.
Yeah.
you can keep him around, but could he have been a tag team champ if depending on who he was with?
Maybe, but he's the one guy in the Nexus that I like. Honestly, I don't really care what happened to him. Whether he was in it or not, I don't think the Nexus changed at all.
Darren Young was okay. I think he would have been more of a stretch than David Otunga to win the U.S. champ or whatever. But he could have been I think he could have been a tag team champ.
I think Darren Young needed more development personally.
I miss anybody except Daniel Bryan, right?
I mean Husky Harris and Miguel Cuddy.
Yeah, but they were the after.
Yeah.
They were just part of the crossfire.
Yep.
Daniel Bryan became one of the best wrestlers we've ever even known. So it's not like the group didn't have people that couldn't be world champ. They had half of them at least. So I just think it was wasted opportunity, and it's kind of striking now because we have Retribution, we have the Hurt Business, we have Undisputed Era, we have these factions that are gonna maybe dwindle down, but we have to see them. We have to see them win. We have to see Nexus. What did Nexus win?
Nothing.
Didn't win shit.
Absolutely nothing.
Titles, no credibility. So.
Yep. I don't know.
I think that's enough time, boys.
Yeah. I think that was a good long podcast.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna shut her down here. For how long have we been filming? Like 3 hours?
2.5.
2.5. Oh, that's not so bad. I thought it was a little bit more. You got any questions for us, Patty, before we go?
No. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Want to come back next week?
It's really up to you guys. That's your show, so I mean it's really up to you guys. I'm here whenever you want. So.
What's that, Zach?
Of being on here, so.
What do you think? So you come back next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, join us next week, Patty.
So.
And guys, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter at MWPodcast1. If you want to follow us on our email and send us questions, it's maritimewrestletime@gmail.com. That's maritimewrestletime@gmail.com. Our YouTube is Maritime Wrestletime, which you are currently watching this show on, and our Facebook at Maritime Wrestletime Podcast. We thank you very much for your support, and we hope that you have a great night.